Why do we fall, sir? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
You've given them everything.
Not everything. Not yet.
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but bright.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT, postwrestling.com, all the podcast apps. And usually we're your NXT friends. And we watch wrestling. We love wrestling. But some other things we do around here is we visit Gotham.
We do.
Yeah.
Back for our, what is this, our seventh time?
Damn, is it?
Eighth,
well,
maybe?
It doesn't matter who we are. But what matters is our plan.
Oh, yes.
That's right. And we're here we have a plan. We're the man with the plan. Before we talked about a guy who had no plan. He just chased cars like a dog.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Now we're talking about actual plans.
Proper plans.
Plans
galore in this
Plans
film.
do work, is what you learned. That's the moral of the story, actually.
Who has the best plan?
Yeah, it's called the Dark Knight Plan. Yes, we've gone through all the Batman movies. If you listen to this feed, you can go back and search and scroll. We've done Star Wars movies. We've done tons of other movies. And of course, we do tons of other movies on our Patreon. But we decided after Star Wars, we were like, what other fun movie kind of series or franchise can we tackle? And we've been going through Batman. And yeah, we've done Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, which is what I guess the most popular vote is the best, not only Batman movie, but superhero movie, comic book
Just movie.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. It was good to go back and watch that, and it was awesome. And then it just made us want to watch this one even more. So we were like just itching to
Yeah,
do it.
I gotta say, when we were doing the Star Wars films, fatigue definitely kicked in with them.
You don't like sand?
Yeah,
It's rough.
I mean, there's quite a few bad films in that series, and I love Star Wars, and I get into it. And if you were to tell me a new Star Wars film's coming out in a month or whatever, I'll go and see it. Like, I love Star Wars, but this, I think, having the different directors, having their different takes on this, we're seeing different actors with their different takes on certain characters. It feels fresh every time we're watching it, and this one that we're talking about today, Dark Knight Rises, is the culmination of this great trilogy that Christopher Nolan created, and I've loved going back to watch these ones.
Yeah, just doing Batman Begins and Dark Knight makes me want to watch a bunch of his other movies. I have not watched Tenet yet, so I got to catch up. But I feel like there's a few I also have not watched before.
I'll watch it with you because I definitely need to watch it again.
You need to tell me what's going on.
I need to understand it.
Yeah. Inception's great, and we've talked about
awesome.
Hans Zimmer, who just completes. He's a character of his own in these movies for Nolan, Christopher Nolan. So. Yeah, it was interesting. I know that we've talked about like the zany stuff like the Riddler and Two-Face, and then it gets really serious in this trilogy, which is such a great take for like this character because they do just such a fantastic job of bringing it to light. It's not like a Superman where you're trying to be all serious, but then it's like, yeah, but the guy flies and he's an alien. It's like this is just a guy who. It still sounds weird when you're like, a guy dresses up as a bat. But, like, realistically...
He's a tortured soul.
Yeah.
And tortured souls do weird things. And for Bruce, it's saved Gotham over and over again.
Yeah. And
while dressed as a bat.
It's definitely the best iteration. And, of course, The Dark Knight ends with Batman catching the Joker. The Batman and the Joker, everyone, your grandma, your aunt, everyone knows Batman and the Joker because it's been these characters that have been portrayed for years in the books and the shows, whatever. But... Heath Ledger dies. And then it leaves this whole, like, just kind of sadness, not only for all the fans worldwide, but for the people who were involved in making these movies. Because it's like, now, like, how do we go forward with, honoring this guy's legacy, but trying to finish this great thing? Because, wow, what a, like, the mood must have been dampened for Christopher Nolan.
For sure.
Yeah.
And there were talks of, is this going to happen?
Yeah.
I mean... this was never set out to be a trilogy, from what I remember. It was just kind of
right.
Christopher Nolan like, we could probably do another one and finish this. And I'm sure had Heath Ledger not have passed away, we'd have maybe got round to one sooner. But then he went and made Inception, which was awesome as kind of the buffer movie between these two. But yeah, there was definitely kind of talk about how are they going to address the Joker, Heath Ledger, and they decided to just kind of not mention it at all. And we've still got mention of Harvey Dent. And the main story of this is more tied back to part 1, Batman Begins. And I think that was smart doing that. And there is, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there is a Joker tribute in the film. And we'll get to it later.
Right.
But yeah, that was the only thing that they apparently did to honor Heath.
Yeah, and I get it, because it's like, there was rumors they were going to use deleted scenes or some CGI, like they thought about it, but then in the end they were like, no, like let's not do that. Let's not add something, which I kind of agree with, and other movie franchises have gone on to do that. It depends. I think it all depends on the story.
Yeah.
The Joker was not...
Batman has a big enough rogues gallery that you can go to without having to do the Joker in another film. So I think it was for the best that they don't go back and try to either recast or... I mean, the pressure on any actor to be recast in that role.
Oh, yeah.
To take over that iteration, that kind of version of the character would be impossible. CGI and stuff, especially for someone like Nolan, who really doesn't use much at all.
Which is great.
Would really stand out, I think, in this film. I think they made the right choice. And when Bane, who we've seen before.
We've talked about.
In these films, we've talked about, but such a different version of the character. And I think a more true to the source material version of the character. Whereas before it was this roided up luchador.
It was Poison Ivy's sidekick. Played by like an ex wrestler who he may rest in peace. But yeah, that's definitely interesting. I'm blanking on the guy's name, but we talked about it. He was just a muscle, a side character, where if you do read some of the comic books, like, the Bane is a lot more like that and looks so cool. The mask is sweet. It's kind of is like a luchador. We've compared Legado del Fantasma stuff to using that similar. Mask of Phantasm even is kind of similar, but he's a character that in the comic books was a lot different than that Schumacher Batman and Robin movie. So
he's always been very intelligent. Yeah. And that's the thing. Whereas the Schumacher one, I don't think he even says words. He's just like, throughout the whole thing. Yeah. Whereas he's meant to be one of the smartest villains because he can outwit and outmuscle the Batman.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy, I remember getting kind of mixed reaction when he was cast because people were going, I can't really picture him as Bane. I think Tom Hardy's about 5'8", 5'9".
5'9", apparently.
5'9". You might have only seen him in Inception, where he's not really playing a huge, big dude or anything. But other people are going, oh no, have you seen Bronson? And these other films where he's bulked up and plays a bit of a nutcase.
I've always wanted to watch that. Never watched it.
It's good. Yeah. And there's one scene where he's pretty much like paralyzed, so all he can actually do is act with the eyes and stuff.
Okay.
And you go, oh, you'd actually be pretty good in a mask. And then fast forward, he's Bane, he's Mad Max, and he's got great facial expressions. But he bulked the fuck up for this film.
Yeah, he's huge.
And when those stills first came out, it was kind of like with the Joker when people first saw the costume and the face paint, and they go, okay, I'm on board.
It's the coat.
You see these giant arms and the coat and the mask.
The coat is a look.
Oh, yeah.
Again, we've talked about how...
The Dean Ambrose coat.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere without, on Halloween or whatever, without seeing a Joker, like, any iteration, but the most popular is Heath Ledger's version, or, like, taking from it and adding your own. Whereas you saw the Bane quite a lot, where dudes would just wear that, get some sort of brown coat. I know so many people that did that, and then just get it, either make the mask or buy it.
Especially, like, end of October, beginning of November.
Need that coat.
In Canada, you kind of want a coat.
It's a great costume idea. Yeah.
And when you're inside, you take it off and you're showing off the guns.
That's it. Yeah, you can show off the guns. You just got to walk around doing his voice all day long.
Yeah.
They did the thing where they release something before the movie comes out, the beginning of the movie, and there's something about the voice.
Yeah, I went to this. So it was kind of a marketing tactic where they were releasing the first, I think, 11 minutes of the film, and you could go and see it. I went to the IMAX in Waterloo in London to see it, and there was a lot of negativity coming out of it because the sound mix was really off, and you couldn't really hear Bane at all because his voice is already kind of muffled. And I remember wondering if they were going to change it when the film was released, and they didn't. But we watched this separately today. I watched a Blu-ray. I think you streamed it.
Yeah.
And definitely on the Blu-ray, the sound has been edited.
Yes,
because
100%.
He was a lot clearer in this.
Yeah, I've not watched this movie back for quite a few years, but I used to have the Blu-ray set, and I watched it a few times, and I remember it definitely edited from the thing. I saw this movie at a midnight release.
Me too.
Which, obviously, you know, there was a huge story because there was a shooting where this guy decided to go to this screening at midnight and shoot up a movie theater, which was just awful because I went to the Scarborough Town Colossus Cineplex, or whatever it is, in Scarborough Town Center, midnight, watching with my friends. We're having a great time. Love the movie, going our separate ways. And then by the time we get home, it's like, before I go to bed, like, what's going on and stuff. And then it's like, and that just puts a whole damper on everything. And that to this day, I'm like, that's just sick, honestly. But a lot of people were like scared to go see this movie. Now everyone was scared to go to theaters when this happened. And now, fast forward, this is from 2012. It's like we're so normalized to certain things. I believe there was just another movie theater shooting, and movie theaters are just reopening. But
it sucks. That's horrible. I know you mentioned Hans Zimmer being one of kind of the MVPs on this, and we've watched the concert, and he plays a piece of music he wrote specifically for, I think it's Aurora, where it happened, in tribute, because obviously, like, it's kind of like remember the Ariana Grande shootings in Manchester. Right. That's a lot of guilt to be, you know, it's not your fault at all, but for it to happen at your movie, you're gonna feel weight with that. So they kind of produce that piece of music as well.
Excellent. Tribute. Well, this show is tribute to, because that always rocked me. And it's like, man, even in a place where we're all supposed to just come together and hang around and watch a movie with strangers, it's supposed to be something that
we should feel safe.
Yeah.
You know?
It always actually irked me for years to go. But that shouldn't put a damper on how we feel about this movie.
No, not
but
at all.
I know a lot of people absolutely don't like this movie. There's a lot of how do you go back from that last? How do you come back from that last movie? They did Batman Begins, and it was really good, but then it didn't get everyone's eyes fully. They just heard, it's that new Batman movie. But Batman died from Schumacher, so we don't like Batman anymore. Yeah, well, they're making a Batman movie with the Joker. All right, we'll check it out. Well, the Joker died. All right, now we definitely got to check it out. Everyone checks it out. It becomes the biggest movie, like, of all time at the time. Like, everyone knew about it. Everyone talked about it. All the news, everything. And got great reception. Again, considered one of the best. How do you make the movie after that? How do you come back with not only losing someone had passed away and got buzz from this, and now you were praised, and it's like, now I gotta continue this without this. It must be incredible stress and strain.
Where do you start?
Like, there's a rapper named Nas, Davie. His first album is called Illmatic. It's considered one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. He himself will always be chasing the dragon of trying to make something, and it's like his own mental thing that he's like, damn it, what do I do?
There's a story of the actor Laurence Olivier, like, famous classical actor.
Yeah.
And he was doing Hamlet or Macbeth or something like that. Stormed off stage at the end of one night, was furious. And they're like, what? I thought you were pretty good right then. What happened? He's like, fuck! It's like, what? Fuck, I ruined it all. And they go, what? He's like, that was fucking perfect. I just did a perfect performance.
Oh.
I've got to do this run for like 6 more weeks. How am I ever going to top that? That was fucking perfect. And there's nothing better I can do. And you're like, jeez, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Nolan, I guess, is like, I don't even want to do another one. Why should I have to? And Christian Bale's like, yo, we killed it. Like, it's over. It's done. Pack it up. Let's go. But they got to do this movie. So yeah, of course it's going to get heavily like criticized and stuff. But I think that Christopher Nolan had an incredible task at hand to get the crew behind to do it all again and come up with such a great, fantastic idea. I myself we both are huge comic book fans, especially when we were younger. It's definitely comic books got me into wrestling, and that's kind of why we're all here. But one of my favorite comics, I would always borrow this from a library. Yes, I used to go to libraries. And it was what is heavily brought up into this movie. It's No Man's Land. It was a series, I think like late 90s, 2000s, where Batman and I think it's an earthquake that closes all the bridges and makes Gotham on its island, and then like all hell breaks loose essentially. So that's where they take that and like use it into this movie, which is great. They also obviously use Nightfall, which is where Bane breaks his back. They have the famous image there. So they take definitely a bunch of little things from different books and bring them into this movie, just like they did with the past Batman Begins and Dark Knight. So it's great. I do remember being like, that's the name you came up with? The Dark Knight was already the name of that movie.
Yeah, I was never a fan of the name, especially because the first film, it wasn't called The Dark Knight Begins or something like that. You know, it wasn't like each film had The Dark Knight in it.
Right.
And it felt more of a marketing ploy for me, being like, people really like that Dark Knight film. We can't really call it The Dark Knight 2 because we had Batman Begins. Right. So let's just call it The Dark Knight Rises.
Another comic they do take from is The Dark Knight Returns.
Yes.
So I guess they're kind of, that's the way of putting it in there too. But they've already done a Batman Returns. So it's kind of like that. But it's obviously Rise being the main like story behind this whole movie is we all gotta rise
up.
And that. So yeah, I remember the buzz though being pretty big for this. And, I mentioned I had to go see it like right away. Definitely one of the only times in my experience of movies having my attention that I got to see it like right away. Yeah,
I rewatched the first two leading up that day, then head to the cinema to see it. Well, let's get into it.
Yes, rise. We shall rise.
We shall rise. We open with Commissioner Gordon eulogizing Harvey Dent, saying, "I believe." In Harvey Dent.
I mean,
picking
believed.
Right up. Yeah, believed. Picking right up off from The Dark Knight.
Yeah, so this is like what? Like supposed to be 7 years later?
8 years later.
8 years later.
Harvey Dent Day.
Harvey Dent Day. So 8 years and Batman's been gone.
He's been gone.
Ever since that fateful night with Harvey Dent dying, a.k.a. Two-Face, the truth has never been set free. But 8 years is pretty drastic. This movie didn't even come out 8 years after the last movie.
No.
Yeah.
So this is what, 2016, I guess it's set.
I
imagine.
That's why he's got some technology.
Yeah. We go to this like field in the middle of nowhere where we see this plane and Littlefinger from Game of Thrones, Aidan Gillen, who's leading these men, and they're talking about Bane, and they've got this Dr. Pavel hostage, and they're going to take him off and find out about this Bane character, where he is.
The mercenary.
Why he wears the mask. And they're flying up in the air. Then you hear someone say, perhaps wondering why you would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane. Because he's threatening this guy.
Yeah.
Trying to get this information. You go, what is this? Who is this man in this hood? You hear the line, as you said earlier, it doesn't matter who we are. All that matters is our plan.
Very NWO vibes.
Yeah.
you know who we are, but you don't know why
our
we're
plan. And the hood's revealed. This is Bane in the plane with these men. And he says, no one paid attention until I put on the mask. And the next part of my plan, crashing this plane with no survivors. It's a plane heist.
Yeah, it's like Point Break.
It is. We see a big plane which is like latching onto the plane they're all on, and they're just ripping it all apart. Bane takes Dr. Pavel into his capture, and he tells this one guy, this one mercenary, you're going to have to stay behind. We're going to need one of us in the wreckage.
Survivors.
Yeah. So
pretty epic scene.
It's really epic.
Yeah, this is the one that we talked about. They released because Dark Knight, they did the intro with the bank robbery with the Jokers, the clown mask people, and then they do it. They almost do it.
How do we up?
Yeah, and they definitely do. Holy!
There's all these discussions right now about going to the cinema, watching stuff at home. This on IMAX looked awesome.
Yeah.
The depth of this, you really got the the sense of the height these planes are doing this heist, and Bane just looking badass, not with any parachute or anything, just climbing down these chairs and these planes going down
It's
vertically.
actually nuts.
It's a really stunning scene.
I remember watching some docs on the Nolan trilogy, I think probably on the Blu-ray set or something, and the shots, someone filmed them filming this, and it's like just insane what they were doing. And of course, Bane has all these lines in the movie, but no one cared who I was till I put on the mask, which is quite similar. I mean, everyone cared who Bruce Wayne was, but Batman is kind of similar. But yeah.
It also just shows already how smart this guy is.
True,
that he's managed to orchestrate this whole plan to get this doctor. But yeah, awesome opening. We go back to Harvey Dent Day. It's been 8 years since his death, but since then, Gotham has been calm. It's been safe because Harvey was that hero, and he locked up all the bad men, all the mobsters, all the criminals.
They make it seem like for 8 years, just everything's
There's been no crime.
Gravy. It's fine. Gotham's chill. There's no baddies. It's good. It's all good.
Gordon almost tells the truth about Harvey Dent.
You see him. He's like Michael Keaton at the Oscars. He's got the speech ready, but he just
and he's not right now.
Not right now. Yeah,
I'll wait for Birdman.
Yeah. So, I think that's what it was when he didn't win. Yeah.
He didn't win for Birdman.
Yeah, but he had it in his thing. But shout out Michael Keaton.
And because he doesn't want the death of Harvey Dent to be for nothing. He wants to keep this hero, wants to keep Gotham safe, and the truth could destroy Gotham.
It's got to be weighing on him though, because he hates Two-Face and Harvey Dent, and here he is for 8 years like praising him. It's got to eat at you. I wouldn't have lasted that long, to be honest. But they also mentioned that like some of the cops in passing mentioned that after that incident, after that night, Batman disappeared, but so did Gordon's wife and kids. She's like, nope. None of that shit. Leaving this town. Almost died. So he's just
because this was the man that threatened to kill his kid.
She didn't want to agree with him praising him. So he's like just committed solely to his job. But his job's been pretty chill lately because no crime.
No crime.
Yeah.
We meet Miranda Tate, played by Marion Cotillard, who wants to see Bruce. It seems like she's going to be trying to come on the board with them. They're talking energy and energy solutions and all this boring shit that I didn't really note down.
All these fucking superhero movies. How many times do they talk about energy and scientists and stuff? Like, am I crazy? Are scientists that important? Every movie is scientists.
Mr. Daggett is telling Tate that she's wasting her time with Bruce and that she should be with him. This is Ben Mendelsohn, who he's great.
Yeah.
He's fucking great, this guy. But yeah, seems like he's got a bit of a plan, seems a bit of a slime ball.
Yeah, he's cheeky.
Yeah.
No, I don't trust him.
I don't trust this guy. We're in Wayne's Manor, and we see one of Bruce Wayne's, like, not maids, what do you call them? Like, waiters or something.
Because they're hosting some sort of party on the grounds.
Hosting an event for Harvey Dent Day, and she's snooping around. This is played by Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, it's almost like we're figuring out that she got this job to be in the premise, like on the grounds, because she looks like she's trying to steal some things.
But she's very good. She's playing very innocent and kind of doesn't know what she's doing. Mm-hmm. And she's in one of Bruce Wayne's rooms when an arrow flies past her, and we see Bruce. He looks like shit.
He's got a cane. He's walking over. He's got like a beard. He's got like chips in it. I don't know what's going on with him.
And he notices she's got this necklace round her neck that belongs to his mother. So she's been stealing.
He's like, wait, did you have that pearl necklace when you came in here?
Yeah. And then she drops the facade and she's just like, oops, no one told me the safe was uncrackable. And she's got all this sass and character. And she knocks the stick out of Bruce's hand, so he falls down and backflips out of the window with the pearls.
Parkour.
What do you think of the introduction of Selena Kyle?
Yeah,
Catwoman. Here?
Yeah, definitely an interesting pick. I feel like this was the most sought after role because everyone watched Dark Knight, including actors, and I think like so many people were calling Nolan like, "Yo, if the rumors are true that you're casting for a woman role." There was, I think they tricked Anne Hathaway. I think they told her she was auditioning for a Harley Quinn character that was not real.
Right.
And she read obscure lines that weren't the lines that they had, so to trick her. The rumor was Angelina Jolie was politicking really hard to be in this role. Like she was like, I've been destined to like, I want to do this. And it never went. But there was a rumor like so many people were so mad at Anne Hathaway getting this gig here because it's Catwoman. We've talked about we've talked about Catwoman quite a lot, haven't we? We talked about Selena Kyle in Batman Returns and how iconic that suit is and that character. And she did a damn fine job as that. So it's like everyone wanted to be that generation's like version. Obviously, this is a more like real life version. So I like Anne Hathaway. I'm actually not a big fan of Anne Hathaway in other movies. Every time I watch her in movies, I find her very annoying.
She's got X-Pac heat with a lot of people.
Yeah, I
actually really like her as an actor.
Yeah.
But she's definitely got X-Pac heat, kind of Nickelback heat, Coldplay heat.
Okay, maybe I'm not crazy then.
Yeah,
I did not know this. Okay.
100% she does.
Yeah.
And there are people that really actively dislike Anne Hathaway. And again, when she was announced, a lot of hate. I love her portrayal in this film.
Yeah.
I think she's fantastic. And just this opening scene, seeing her playing the innocent and then just dropping it and being pretty like cool and deadly before backflipping out the window. And she'll continue throughout the film. I think she's great in this.
Yeah, I think I like her here where she flips it from being trying to trick him essentially, and then obviously backflipping. But I feel like when it comes down to it, I wouldn't believe that she would like beat up anyone. Like Christian Bale beefs up for these movies because he's like, I gotta make it look like I would actually kick some. George Clooney ain't kicking no one's ass. Michelle Pfeiffer was tough to make me believe, but even she wasn't like, beating people up in as much as this. So I find it like the disbelief there is like, all right, okay. Like I still think she has her moments, definitely, but I feel like maybe I could be on the side where people are like, oh, but think of all the different actors who could have been in this. But I still don't think she did a terrible job, 100%. But I like the introduction to her for sure.
So she then just gets into the car of some congressman who is a bit of a sleaze, and she's like, "Oh, got room for one," and he's like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, but it's actually a trick, though.
It's a trick. And we then learn that this congressman's gone missing. So what has she done? We meet Officer Blake, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which gets very confusing when it's the scenes with Blake and Gordon, because I'm just calling both of them Gordon.
Blake Gordon? Gordon Blake?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Commissioner Gordon-Levitt.
I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt, though.
He's great. He's kind of fallen off.
Yeah, I was
is
thinking
he?
that, actually.
Because
Yeah,
I like this guy.
He did this. He did Inception.
Yeah.
Yeah, Inception. He did, what, Sean John? Don John?
Don John. Is it 50-50?
50-50?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has fallen off. I absolutely love 500 Days of Summer. I think it's almost close to a perfect movie. And you're right. He has fallen off. Where had he gone? He did that movie where he's walking across the thing, but I thought he was great in this movie. I like him as this cop. He definitely mixes a good part of the serious, like playing a legit, like almost rookie cop, but more to him, like he's kind of smart. It's almost like he's the Nightwing in a way, right? Yeah.
So he goes to Commissioner Gordon, and he has some questions about what happened 8 years ago. It doesn't quite add up to him, this whole Harvey Dent hero stuff, Batman going on a killing spree.
Yeah, he's smart.
He's like, this doesn't make sense. Bruce is doing some detective work, discovering that the kind of cat burglar at his place is Selena Kyle.
When she escapes with the beads, and he's like, "Hey, Alfred, like, what did I fucking tell you about letting people into the side wing of the house?" He's like, "Yeah, my bad. Like, someone clearly like slipped through. She knew what she was doing, Bruce." And he's like, "I can't believe you did that." And he's like, "I can't." And he just snaps back, "I can't believe you still don't make your own bed." And then the next time you see Alfred like going, "Hey, Master Bruce," it cuts to his bed and it's made. It's like they still are like digging at each other. It's hilarious.
So we find out that Selena Kyle wasn't actually after necklaces or stuff like that at all, but she was after his fingerprints, as she'd been dusting for Bruce's fingerprints.
Alfred does the piano key thing,
Yeah.
which they do in the 60s show. Bruce used
Oh,
to
yeah,
do that.
to open the...
And here he is doing it here. Good callback.
So Bruce, we learn, is still depressed. He's been pretty much in his room for the last 8 years.
It was all of us during the pandemic.
Exactly. And Alfred really wants him to go out and have a new normal. He's like, hey, that Selena Kyle seems all right, actually.
She seems like you're tight.
She seems like you're tight. And he's like, oh, you're trying to set me up with everyone. He goes, I'd set you up with a chimpanzee if it means I'm getting you out of this house. He talks about this fantasy that Alfred used to have when Bruce was off all those many years ago training with the League of Shadows. He says, I was hoping I'd never see you again because there's nothing but pain for you here in Gotham. And I would take these trips to Florence every year and I'd sit at this cafe, order a drink, and I'd always dream that I'd look over and see you with your wife and kids looking happy. We'd give each other a knowing nod and a smile, but never talk to each other, and I'd get up and walk away knowing you're happy.
We both know we'd made it. Yeah. I love how he tells the story and like the shots, like how he looks up, like it's epic. Nolan is good at this because I'm thinking of Inception.
Yeah.
He uses similar tricks to
absolutely.
get the viewers like feels essentially. I like how he orders what I had to look this up. A Fernet Branca.
Yeah, what is this?
A la the web tender, means as a bitter aromatic spirit made from over 40 herbs and spices.
So it's like a Jägermeister.
Fernet, yeah, isn't that like the Chicago drink? Fernet, I'm pretty sure. Weird. Alfred drinks Fernet Branca. Interesting. Yeah, we're going to have to try it.
Yeah, so in this kind of dream sequence, he's looking over and thinks he sees Bruce. It looks like the back of Bruce's head, and then gets up and it's just some guy, and he's like, fuck. This guy's like, why are you looking at me, old man, with your weird drink?
Yeah, poor Alfred.
I love these scenes, though.
Yeah.
The scenes between Bruce and... Because both, like, Michael Caine, Christian Bale, just fantastic actors.
Yeah.
This is their third outing in this universe, this Batman universe that they've done. They obviously did films like The Prestige together and stuff. They've worked with each other so much, so... They really spark off each other during these scenes.
100%. I talked about on our Dark Knight review, talking about Michael Caine and how awesome I thought he was with the chimpanzees and rubies and the stuff. Sorry, no, rubies the size of tangerines, not chimpanzees. Chimpanzees in this one. Yeah, so... I got I was laughing. That bed thing had me laughing, but yeah, 100%. These two are fantastic actors.
Do you reckon when Nolan and David S. Goyer are writing these, they're going, what words do you think will sound funny coming out of Michael Caine's
No, they
mouth?
leave them open.
Michael, can you say, what would you call this? This isn't an orange, it's a tangerine. Yeah, tangerines, use that.
They use him to come up
and this
with...
isn't a normal grapefruit, is it? No, that's a ruby grapefruit.
What kind of monkey is this? No.
It's a chimpanzee. Just writing all this down. Oh.
Yeah, it's definitely that's how they wrote his thing. Or they just did Mad Libs. Like, hey, you go off. You fill in the blanks here. Because he's actually really good. Michael Caine is really
fantastic.
good. Yeah.
Officer Blake goes to this kind of orphanage, chatting to this kid who's going to be basically kicked out because he's too old now. He's over 16.
Yeah.
He's like, what's going on? Because this Wayne Industries used to take care of this place, and apparently there's no more money going in. So Blake he's just a good guy. He's looking out for everyone here.
Yeah, it reveals he's himself went through this orphanage as well.
There, yeah.
And like, whenever the kids get too old, it seems like these kids go missing. So there seems to be some sort of problem, like in the past few years. It's like, where do these kids go when they're of age, like 18-year-olds? So he talks to one of these kids who's like, yeah, everyone knows when you turn 18, they're offering you jobs down there. He's like, down there? Down where? Under there? Under where? Yeah.
Selena Kyle has Bruce's fingerprints, and she's like trading them with one of these bad guys, played by Bern Gorman, who you might know from Torchwood. That's why I know him from. Pretty good actor. But she's only given him 4 and not the thumb. So he's threatening her with a gun to give me the thumb, because he needs the thumb.
Give me the thumb.
When, like, Selena Kyle's housemate, I guess, played by Juno Temple from Ted Lasso.
Yeah, this blew my mind. This was the same person.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
She's fantastic.
I love Ted Lasso.
She comes in with the thumbprint, but as we said, this whole film is all about plans, and Selena Kyle has a better plan, because as she got the bad guy to kind of send a text to bring the friend in with the thumb, he was actually using the congressman's phone, the missing congressman.
Yikes.
So all the police are going to track this down to this guy here.
Great trick.
Yeah. So the police all come in, and again, Selena Kyle just changes her character, and she pretends she's just this victim, this hostage here. So she's just screaming, going, "Help me, help me!" and then slips out. So all these guys are taken out by the cops. But yeah, good plans, this Selena Kyle. Commissioner Gordon now gets caught by mercenaries and taken over to Bane.
They're down in the sewers.
And Bane is mad. Why did you bring him down here? Now he's going to know where we are. So Bane just kills one of them, just chokes them. It's almost like a Darth Vader choke, isn't it?
And he breathes like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
He got the thing on his face.
The ventilator thing. And Gordon realizes he's got to escape, so he rolls into this like waterfall of the sewers.
He's a brave cop. Gordon...
Oh, he's been shot as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he gets shot
He gets shot a lot, this dude.
Yeah, but right before he does, Bane sees he's got something in his jacket pocket, so he grabs it and starts reading it, which is the distraction for Gordon to do this, because he finds the script to his speech about the truth.
Yeah.
So Gordon, yeah, I like this scene. It's pretty, like, I love, who plays Gordon? Sorry.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah, like he's so good at acting, but here he's doing like the drop and roll. I'm sure they got like stuntmen and stuff, but the way he's like, and then jumps in.
Getting out of here.
And then they're like, shoot him. It's pretty sweet. And Bane's like, well, where does he go? Well, he goes down to different water things. Like this one water trail could lead to so many places. So the one guy just hands Bane the thing, clicks it, shoots the guy while sticking it to him. So
like
wherever,
a tracker.
yeah, it's very, it fits like kind of the Joker, Jack Nicholson's Joker. Remember that? It's like every time something fucks up, he just shoots one of his own guys.
Yeah, or almost like the opening of Dark Knight with the Joker, where he's killing off every guy in the bank robbery. He's like, I don't need this guy.
Yeah, it is mercenaries. But yeah, good for Gordon, who gets shot, dumped down this water thing, and survived. It's very like the movie The Fugitive, where he jumps through the water thing. Yeah, it's kind of like that. But then how lucky that Blake finds him pretty quickly.
Very lucky. Blake is always there.
On top of things.
On top of things are Blake. And Blake goes to see Wayne, because he's like, what the fuck, man? You used to look after orphans, and now you're not.
Which was pretty good scene, actually. Like, he's a pretty good actor, Gordon Levitt. Here.
Yeah, I like him.
He makes a reference to saying, like, all the cops don't believe Gordon about this underground sewer thing. And he's like, Bruce kind of is like, why not? And he's like, well, they said, did you guys see any giant alligators in the sewers too? So kind of
Killer Croc
yeah, kind of exactly. Reference there, yeah.
But Blake basically says, look, I know you're Batman. I've known it for a long time.
Everyone does.
Because I'm an orphan too, and I know the mask we have to put on when you've gone through a tragedy in your childhood, a mask you have to put on pretending you're happy. And I saw through that mask. And it's the same mask Batman wears. And you're Batman, Bruce Wayne, and I know it.
Again, he's smart.
He's very smart.
But he's pretty much like, hey, you cut the funding, asshole, to all these kids who rely on it. You came to me, and I thought you were cool. But, like, what the fuck, dude? Batman.
Bruce needs to go to the hospital to see Gordon. So he goes there. It's the doctor. He's examining him, and it's like, well, your knees are fucked, your back's fucked, your neck's fucked, your hips fucked, your feet are fucked. So, no, Mr. Wayne, I can't advise you to go heli skiing.
Heli skiing is the backup thing he's like told the doctor, like, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. He's like, yo, you're pretty much, you have the body of a pro wrestler.
Spelunking?
Yeah, spelunking. Your knees are fucked. You can't do this. You got knees like Stone Cold. You can't do it.
And this is a nice cameo from, what's the actor's name?
Yeah,
he's
Thomas.
in so many things.
Thomas Lennon.
Comedic actor.
Yeah. Reno 9/11. I know him from I Love You Man.
Right.
He's got a little cameo in there. 17 again. He's in, he's got cameos in so many things. Yeah, he's actually really funny. I Love You Man, underrated movie.
But this is all a ruse because Bruce needs to see Commissioner Gordon. So he puts on a balaclava, and yeah, we're saying Blake's smart. He worked out when he was a kid because he just saw this billionaire orphan and we're like, oh, you're probably Batman.
Yeah.
Whereas Commissioner Gordon still hasn't worked it out that Bruce Wayne's just stood there in a balaclava.
So he wouldn't think it's Bruce because everyone knows Bruce is at home. So maybe that's why he's like not thinking it's him right away. But you can totally tell it's
he's in a
Christian.
suit.
Yeah. He's in a suit with the mask. Yeah, and talking to him. He's got a voice changer or something to try to mess with him or something.
But Gordon's just saying it's time for the Batman to come back. We need Batman. Come on, Batman.
See, Gordon's kind of still like, I don't know who you are. You might be Bruce, but all I know is
I don't care.
Yeah, we need some help here. So evil is rising, says Gordon. The cops aren't believing me that there's this whole thing underground.
It wouldn't be a Batman film without a charity ball.
That's right.
Bruce is at this charity ball. Sees Selina Kyle there. They have a little dance, bit of romance going on. Bruce is always dancing with women at charity balls.
I mean, yeah, another callback to Batman Returns where Bruce dances with Selina at a ballroom, and I think they're the ones not wearing the masks, and everyone
That's
else
right,
was.
yeah.
Whereas here, everyone, including Selina Kyle, is wearing a mask, and Bruce in this whole shot is the only one not wearing a mask, which is quite interesting, like the opposites there.
And because people will know it's Batman if he's in the mask.
Wait, is that him?
Selina's just telling him that a storm's coming. Shit's gonna go down. And
Yeah, great. I love this line. This was like in the trailer and the stuff.
there's a storm coming.
You and your friends better batten down the hatchets, and you'll wonder how you ever lived so large and left so little for the rest of us.
Oh.
It's kind of like the 1% thing.
Yes.
99%, you rich people, well, it's going to come crashing down. We're going to take all your money. He also lets her know the correct pronunciation of Ibiza.
Yes.
See, I know because the song is I took a pill in Ibiza. So I think that's how it's pronounced. But then,
I've always said Ibiza.
yeah, I feel like North Americans call it Ibiza, but the true meaning is Ibiza as he schools her on it. I wonder if that's where he ends up.
But she's like, fuck you, I'm taking your car.
Yeah, another smart tactic. She swiped his number for the valet and tells the guy, my husband's taking a cab home. It's our car. Don't worry, I got it. And drives off. He's like, motherfucker.
So Bruce goes to see Lucius Fox and kind of trying to work out what's going on at Wayne Enterprises and why this orphanage, St. Swithin's, isn't getting money. It's kind of boring.
I like, it just gets to
There's
the part.
more talks of Miranda Tate and this energy deal and that they're trying to create like sustainable, renewable energy and shit.
But then it gets to, hey, I know why you're really here, Bruce. And he's like, no, I don't do that anymore. He's like, well, let me show you some stuff anyways. And then,
got some stuff in the back.
for old time's sake here, Bruce. So he shows him a bunch of really cool things that Bruce might spray paint black. Or no, he says it does come in black. Yeah.
Shows the Bat, which is just this giant drone
Hell yeah.
helicopter thing.
I've seen, we recently moved and we have a rooftop like view here in Toronto. And every time I go on the roof now, I'm seeing these drones that look like this.
Yeah.
Like legit. I've seen like 3. It's scary. It's like, is this the world we live in? We're just bat drones?
It's Dickie already filming us. He sent drones for drone shots. You're on the roof right now?
Australia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Lucius shows him this drone bat thing and Bruce is like, maybe I could use that later. It could possibly come in handy. But can you do anything for my knee?
Yeah, he gets fancy stone cold knee braces.
No, he gets, he called Rey Mysterio and said, yo, who's your guy? I need to get some, what do I call them? The baby stem cells.
Yeah.
Research on the knees. Batman fixes his knees.
Yeah.
And in 6 months, he shows up as a surprise in the Rumble and he's fucking back.
Yeah.
We hear the U2 Beautiful Day song playing.
Triple H thing.
Batman's fucking coming back.
He's coming back. He's got new knees.
New knees, new bat.
And he can kick a wall now.
Told you, have you seen Rey Mysterio's knees now? They're fucking crazy.
I'm worried he didn't do anything about his feet.
Yeah, now his feet
He
are
like
broken.
just breaks his ankle.
It's like, great, now I can't do
my
anything.
knees are great, but fuck.
I would say if he's a millionaire, multi-billionaire, like he can't afford things that me and you like do not know.
Better
about.
shoes.
Yeah, better shoes. But like, oh, maybe I just inject my foot with like some super. I don't know. It's fucking Batman. Lucius also mentions that the Bat does not have an autopilot.
No
feature.
Autopilot. I'm
Does
working
not.
on it, but I can't get it to
Don't
work.
have it.
No
just slips that
autopilot.
in there.
Alfred starts telling Bruce about this like legend of this pit.
He made Alfred go do the research for Bane.
Yeah, on Bane. And says most people die in this pit, but for anyone that manages to escape, they become stronger. And Bane was the only one to escape. He was then trained by Ra's al Ghul in the League of Shadows, but excommunicated. And this is where Bruce is like, it sounds like we need the Batman.
And Alfred's like, dude, I
don't know.
I don't like this.
I don't like it at all.
But he does. Alfred always got the great line. It's like, sometimes a man rises.
Man
Bruce,
rises.
like,
It's the name of the film.
yeah, he said it rises. Well, they never say the Dark Knight.
The
rises.
Dark Knight Rises.
But they do say rise a lot. I don't know, but pits are usually scary,
Scary pits.
especially when they're in olives. You choke on them.
Okay. Bane orchestrates this terrorist attack on the stock exchange and takes one of the people working there hostage and straps him to the back of a motorbike as he's riding off. And 46 minutes into the film, Batman finally shows up. I felt the reveal wasn't big enough for like Bruce finally back in the cowl and the cape. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's like we know he was going to come anyway. It's not
Yeah,
I find that it's like the lights, he's doing the Undertaker, Malachi Black thing. The lights are going out and he's driving the thing and all these cops who are chasing. First of all, the Wall Street scene is pretty sweet. Again, awesome shot. That's the thing. Nolan does not use CGI. So all of this is like stunt people driving the motorcycle, all these extras, like he takes the time to make it look as real as possible. It's almost like a terrorist attack, a thief, a robbery, and the motorcycle chase. But when Batman does show up, those cops that are like, "Oh my God, is this what's going on?" And the one cop's like, "Oh, like strap in. This is it. This is the moment we've been waiting 8 years for."
Yeah.
And then he shows up, and it shows that one cop who's kind of a dickhead who's like, "I don't even care about the terrorist attack that's going on. We want Batman," which is so stupid. But yeah. You're right. Yeah, I guess there could have been a bigger like reveal for it, but
get that Hans music, the blah, blah,
but then
a bit louder.
Yeah, but then
camera panning up, Batman's there.
Because there is then another reveal with him later. So it's like,
True.
how many times can this guy come back?
It's like Jericho's. How many return surprises can you have?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, this chase scene's pretty cool. It's very similar to the one in The Dark Knight, kind of under the tunnels, big car pileups. But yeah, it's Batman's just in this kind of on the bat bike at this point, riding off. He shoots this ramp. He's got bat guns on his bat bike, so he rides up this ramp, and now he's kind of driving on the roof and shit. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's another one. It's just like the last film with the crazy motorcycle stuff, but even crazier. Nolan just must be like, all right, so I need to film these movies, but in order to do this, I need empty highways and streets at all times at my like hand, because all his scenes are always like chase scenes and stuff.
Scrump, you're going to have to take a different route to work because this is blocked off.
For
these days.
Filmed in similar spots, I imagine. It looked like there was a lot of more New York shots in this movie as well, because it looks like New York. Yeah.
But the cops kind of corner Batman as he goes into this alleyway. So they're all there waiting with their guns. They've got Batman. When he flies out in the bat.
Jeez.
And flies away.
The Batman literally flew away as a bat.
Flew away in a bat.
Wow. It took 3 movies, but he's actually a bat now in this bat drone. Way more realistic than some of the bat things we've seen, especially in the Schumacher ones, where he's even in the Tim Burton one, he's got the bat thing, like a ploy to sell toys.
Yeah.
But it's like that realistically would not.
Well, all the vehicles in this are like military based vehicles, right?
So
you look
like,
at this and it's that's a drone design, which we've seen things like this. So it makes sense.
It's almost like a magic carpet, but black that he's in, because the way it like floats, so it's almost like a towel like in the wind in a weird way. It looks sick. Yeah.
Selina has broken into Daggett's place who she sold the fingerprints to. And she wants what she's owed, which is this device that will wipe her slate completely clean. She'll be anonymous, no crimes to her name. No one will know who she is, so she can escape and start her new life.
Is that even a thing?
It is in this world.
Because I've watched Breaking Bad, and it's a thing. Where Jesse's got to go to the thing where you wait for the van to show up. Remember? Like, it's a whole thing.
With these immunity things.
Going off the grid.
Right.
Starting a whole new life.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
That's what she wants, so...
She's pinning him against the wall with her heel because he's like, it's bullshit. I don't have it. It doesn't exist. When his associate, the guy she sold it to earlier, comes in with the gun again, and she just takes him out, kicks him, gets the gun, and then all these men are coming in. They're cornering her when Batman arrives for the helping out Selina. He's got a little crush there.
He's always telling people to get in his car.
Yep.
And she says, well, my mom always told me never to get in a car with strangers. It's not a car. And then it flies.
It flies. He's telling her no guns and no killing. That's my rules. And she's like, well, that's boring.
No guns and no... What? Thought you were the bad boy. This isn't a car.
It's great. So they escape. Bane arrives, watching on. Ooh,
yeah.
Scary.
Very Star Wars like vibes when the bad guy's always just so close to meeting the good guy first. Yeah.
Selina Kyle tells Batman that she sold his prints to Daggett, and then she disappears, and he goes,
"So that's what that feels like."
Yeah, that's
great line.
What a great spot, because for so many movies, Batman keeps doing that to people. It must be so annoying. It's like when you live with someone, whether it be your family or like us roommates. It's like you're talking to someone who you think is like at one side of the room, but you didn't know they left the room. Or like when you're in a store and you're in an aisle with someone, you're like, so then she was telling me that she doesn't. I don't listen to her. Yeah, and then you're just like, wait, where have you gone? That's what Batman does.
Absolutely.
But now it's happened to him, and sweet justice.
This got a big laugh in the cinema.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, one of the big laughs for the movie.
Batman flies his bat into the Batcave. Awesome shot with the waterfall and everything. But Alfred's had enough. He wants Bruce to stop. He's saying, live your life and be happy. And Bruce saying, I wanted that future, but then Rachel died, and it's a future I can't have anymore. Ugh. So Alfred goes, there's more secret letters here. This is a film about letters and plans.
Yeah.
But he goes, What if I were to tell you, Master Wayne, that Rachel wrote a letter choosing Harvey, and I burnt it. What if I told you that, Master Wayne? Bruce is like, I'd fuck you up.
Yeah, he goes from really happy, like funny Bruce Wayne to American Psycho Christian Bale here. How dare you?
How dare you?
I won't bury you, Master Wayne. I won't bury you.
It would be losing someone who I've cared for since the first time I heard his cries echo through this house. And Bruce, like Alfred, kind of like quits here.
Yeah.
Retires.
He walks off. Takes his ball and goes home.
And Bruce wishes him goodbye. And then the next scene, right away, the doorbell goes. And Bruce is like, Alfred, can you get the... Oh, fuck, I forgot. Alfred retired.
I forgot. Such an asshole.
But yeah, this scene is great. The emotion that Michael Caine brings to this bit, it puts real weight on Bruce's actions moving forwards. And yeah, Alfred's had enough. He cares. He's raised Bruce as his own. He's the father figure, and he's seeing him going towards likely death.
Yeah, it's a definite battle because he obviously has always been there for him. Even in this movie, he's picked him up after Selina stole his car. He was already at the venue, like waiting in case something did go wrong. Like that, he's always in the wings of Batman here. He's always waiting to help him. So he's like, I won't do that. You're going to die. Like, what are you doing? You're beat up and stuff. So that, I think, pisses Bruce off even more because he's like, you don't think I can do this, which upsets him even more that, like, you would do that. But he's like, yeah, like, dude, you've saved the world. Let it go. Just, it's not on you. You can't be held responsible. These two definitely have insane chemistry together. And I don't think going forward in any Batman movies, you could do the crazy stunts. They'll come up with insane things. When we're long gone, they'll be making Batman movies for sure with insane things. I don't think you'll get the actual like chemistry between some certain actors than you do get between these two, honestly.
And you got to think their relationship with Nolan has to bring that out as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
You've got such an intimate relationship with the director as well. And as I said, these guys have been in a lot of films together with Nolan directing them. So knowing how to bring out the best, it really shows. This scene is excellent.
I won't bury you. But he doesn't have Alfred, so right away he's got to answer the door.
Yeah.
And Lucius Fox is like, since when do you open the door, your own door?
And we learn from Fox that Daggett used Bruce's thumbprint to kind of access his stocks and shares and stuff, and sold a bunch and bought bad shit. And he's bankrupt now. Bruce Wayne is now Happy Corbin.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's so because he got his handprints, he was able to use his thing to hack the stocks. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think so.
Damn.
To be honest, mine is the thumbprint.
My phone is a thumbprint.
Yeah.
So I'd be fucked
if
someone used my thumb, because they would access my stuff.
Yeah, we're telling everyone.
Yeah, I shouldn't say this. Yeah.
And so they decide that they should probably trust the attractive brunette with the cute accent that just has shown up recently.
Always trust.
Let's trust her, and we're going to
I trust you.
give her part of Wayne Enterprises and show her this energy generator thing, because they trust her, because they know that this energy thing could be turned into a nuclear weapon. But let's trust this woman. We'll trust this woman to look after it, because Miranda's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't see anything wrong here.
Not yet.
And we're at the board meeting of Wayne Enterprises. We got to have one of these every film. And Bruce Wayne shows up, and Daggett's like, no, you're not, you're gone. You're bankrupt. You fucked up. You're out of here. You lost your seat on the board. So Bruce depressingly leaves. But Daggett now learns that Tate is in charge, and feels it when it should have been his. So he's going to Bane and is yelling at him and says, I paid you a small fortune and this isn't going the way I wanted it. I was meant to be in control at this point. And Bane just lightly puts his hand on Daggett's shoulder, and kind of the music changes like this. And Ben Mendelsohn playing Daggett here looks just fucking terrified. And yeah, the line, I paid you a small fortune, and that gives you power over me.
Well, I'm still in charge.
Says who? Look around, it looks like I'm the one in charge here.
Do you feel
I
in
am
charge?
Gotham's reckoning, a necessary evil. And he kills Daggett here.
Cracks. He does the neck crack.
The neck crack. The
Michael
Fiend.
Myers Fiend. Yeah, neck crack. Looks good. It looks like it would help your neck.
Yep. I want to do those towel things.
The towel cracks? Yeah, it does feel like it could be good. We'll get to a towel crack in this movie.
True.
Yeah, we'll also get to some sex.
We will, yeah.
Because that's what happens
That's
next.
coming up. So Bane is taking over. He's running all now. We've got Blake asking Bruce why he wears a mask and why doesn't he want people to know he's Batman, etc., etc. Bruce tells him, look, you should wear a mask. It protects the ones you care about. Anyone can be the Batman. It's a symbol. Blah, blah, blah. And Commissioner Gordon likes Blake as well, so makes him a detective and kind of gives him, by any means, we need to stop what's going on.
Yeah, me and you are beyond police at this point.
Bruce is broke, but still likes to bang, so invites Miranda over. And have bailiffs taken his bed and stuff?
No, they turned off his power. So he breaks into his own mansion, which looked easy enough, but obviously he would know where to go in. So he breaks in, and as they do, he realizes the power's gone. So he starts burning his own furniture in his own fire pit and stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
And they just lay near the fire because it's do the bat dance.
The bat dance.
Get the bat phone, and the bat things, all the bat stuff. Batman's just so cheeky. He was just complaining to Alfred. This guy, I'm not so different than Bruce Wayne, because all he was doing earlier was talking about his ex to Alfred, and then a cute girl's here, better have a fire.
Let's give her Wayne Enterprises and have sex immediately.
Give her everything.
And then once he's had sex with her, I've actually got a date with Catwoman.
Yeah, I got this other one going on.
So I kind of got to go.
This is why Batman's the greatest superhero of all time. Yeah, exactly.
So Batman leaves after doing the bat dance.
Of course he does.
To go and see Catwoman.
Of course he does.
He wants her to take him to Bane.
Batman,
I'm gonna
more
say,
like
they never call her Catwoman, so
yeah,
Selina
yeah,
but
yeah.
Catwoman.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they never do. But he's more of a dog. This Batman.
So they're fucking up all of Bane's men on the hunt for Bane, but then a gate locks, and we realize Selina has turned her back on him and has sold him out to Bane. And she says it's like, I had to, sorry, it was you or me. They would have killed me.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Yeah, I like it when he's like, he goes, "You've just made a big mistake," and that's when we hear Bane go, "Not as big as the one you've made," and that's when he sees that he's there. But Batman looks at her like, "You fucking stupid fucking, what are you fucking doing?"
I think this is where Anne Hathaway is fantastic in this film, because you see the layers to her character. In another film, it could have just been like a Russo swerve and just be like, "Mahaha, I'm evil, sold you out." Whereas here you see the kind of pain in her decision, and that she is a selfish character. She's there for herself, but she does kind of care about this guy, but is genuinely terrified of Bane.
So did they get a hold of her and made her do this?
Yeah, they'd have killed her.
Okay, got it. Because like other than that, like,
and they've got the immunity thing that she wants.
See, maybe that. Yeah, I feel like she could have got away and didn't need to do this. I think she did something that she regrets.
I think she thought it through. But yeah, she regrets it immediately.
Because she's like, "Oh, they won't. You said you wouldn't hurt him. You wouldn't kill him."
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a fight and no music in this first encounter between Bane and Batman. You just hear the punches. There's a lot of no selling from Bane.
Oh, yeah.
He's just taking these punches, no reaction at all. But he is fucking up Bruce. Batman tries to throw some like grenade smoke bombs.
Judo smoke!
And Bane's saying, "Look, I was in the League of Shadows. Like, your theatrics won't work on me." And Batman's like, "You were excommunicated from the League of Shadows." He goes, "I am the League of Shadows, and I've come to fulfill Ra's al Ghul's destiny."
Yeah, he's basically no-selling Bruce's punches, and he's like, "Looks like victory's defeated you," meaning like, yeah, you had your day.
Yeah.
And it ain't now.
It ain't now.
It's over.
Batman tries turning the lights out so we can fight in the dark, but Bane's saying, "I was molded by the dark. I was born in the dark. I live in the dark." And asks, "I was wondering what would break first, your spirit
Or your body.
or your body?" As he breaks Batman's back.
The Messiah of the Backbreaker.
Oh, yeah.
Bane. Shout out Roderick Strong.
Bit of a better promo from Bane.
yeah. Poor Roddy. Yeah, I mean, this is everyone quotes the Joker from The Dark Knight with all the "why so serious" and all that stuff. But I think for Bane, the line would be, "Darkness, I was molded by it," all that kind
There's so many.
Yeah, there
so
are a
many
few,
lines.
but I feel like that one
What do you think of his choice? Like the accent and...
Yeah, definitely works. I've watched other Tom Hardy movies. I think you mentioned the Mad Max one. Mad Max, this movie, and I swear he's, I guess Inception. I swear he's in something else I like.
Rock and Roller.
There's so many movies that I also have seen him in that I cannot stand him. Venom, throw the whole thing in the bin. Do not like the movie, do not like the story, and I can't stand his acting in it. He's trying to do the split personality thing. That movie drives me crazy, and it's not even, it's actually a part of him I do not like. I think he looks so serious and so scary. Yeah, he's only 5'9". They make him look so much bigger here, but he is sick in this movie.
I never really buy him when he's playing kind of posh or like English gentleman.
Okay.
Because there's such a ruggedness to him, such a bit of a thugness to him.
Yeah.
I never buy that. That always is a little disconnect from me. But I do think he's a very good actor. And I said, he's really fucking good in a mask. It's weird. I think it's his eyes. He's got such a wild, intensity in his eyes. But the choice of the accent, I like that we hear about this pit and stuff, and it's a bit of a anonymous location.
Yeah.
And I think he's going for a bit of this accent where you can't quite place where he's from, but also he was League of Shadows, so the theatricalness in his voice comes across, and it's almost Shakespearean at times, especially when he's giving his big speeches. I think it's a real choice, and it works. it distinguishes him from others. It's sure a lot of people are going to mock it and imitate it.
Yeah.
But
then isn't that what like you kind of?
But it makes you remember the character.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas if people, you'd say to people, "Oh, you know they've done Bane before," and you go, "What?" It's like, yeah, that Schumacher Batman film had Bane in. You go, "Oh, I completely forgot that was a thing."
Yeah, it's a completely different entity. It's a completely different character, and it totally works. This fight scene's awesome. And again, if you've seen the image from the comics of is it Nightfall where he breaks his back, they do a great reenactment here in live.
Yeah, they pretty much do the frame.
Yeah, they do the exact shot where he breaks him, and then if that's not even like the case, it's when he's been punching him in the face, and Batman's mask is like broken and shattered a bit. He like rips a piece of it off and then just throws it down like the sewer. Like it's how evil. Like when this was coming out, pictures of the broken mask in that shot, people were like,
"Yeah, that was one of the big publicity things."
What happens?
Everyone, I remember the buzz when they announced Bane was going to be the villain.
Right.
Everyone was saying, you got to do the back break.
Yeah.
You got to do that. And especially because it kind of fits in, even though it's a different comic, it fits in with the Dark Knight Returns, which is an older Bruce Wayne who has been out of action for years and is coming back. Kind of fits together with that also, with this is an older, beaten down Bruce Wayne before he's even fighting Bane at this point.
Right.
So he's already weak to get the back break.
It's more wrestling references. It's Kawada Misawa. I mean, Misawa was already beaten up when Kawada beat him. So it's not fair. It's not fair. It didn't count. He didn't really break his back.
The stem cells haven't quite kicked in yet.
Yeah. He's focusing on his knee. He's like, I finally fixed these knees. And Bane's like, hey, how's your back? Crack. Done. Yeah. Very, very iconic. I love this fight scene. And you mentioned like it echoes when they're talking to each other. When it's mostly Bane talking, but yeah, it's definitely a high point in the movie for me.
And yeah, the choice of no music here I found interesting because you'd expect like big score for this sort of fight scene, but it's very quiet and you just hear. I think it's because it makes that back crack. So much impact with that. You're like, oh, he's done. You can hear he's done. So, detective now, Blake, catches Selena Kyle outside of here.
She's trying to make a run for it, like Catch Me If You Can style. Fake passport's trying to dip, but he catches
He's got her.
And he does the cop thing where he's like, I want to know all about what stuff you've been doing. And then he kind of like turns his body cam off or something, essentially. And he's like,
off the record. What?
Did they kill him?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yes, you do, bitch. You threw him to the wolves, you snake.
She says she's afraid of Bane, and they should be too.
Yes.
He offers her like protection, and she just rolls her eyes. It's like, no, you're not going to be able to protect me from these people. She does genuinely seem pretty terrified, and even though she's got this cool exterior a lot of the time, whenever Bane is brought up, she does seem scared, and does genuinely seem worried for Batman, even though she did betray him. Bruce wakes up and he's being dragged in this desert to conveniently the same pit Alfred told him about just earlier. He wakes up in the bottom of this big pit. You can see the sunlight above them. And Bane is there with Bruce, telling him that this is torture because this is the cruelest hell on Earth. As you can look up to the light and dream about escaping. And it's escape you'll never be able to do. And he's set up a TV so Bruce can be there and watch him execute Ra's al Ghul's destiny. They will destroy Gotham. And once Gotham is destroyed, then you have my permission to die.
Yeah. Because he's like, why didn't you just kill me? Kill me right now, please, because I'm in a lot of pain. He's like, nope. I'd rather you're
going to watch your precious Gotham burn.
Yeah. Pretty nice of him to give him the TV.
Any other channels?
Yeah, I wonder if he's allowed to flip the channels.
Oh, it's torturing him.
Like,
where is this pit?
Somewhere like in the Middle East.
They go back and forth between it pretty quick.
It's almost like they do, but time almost isn't a factor in this movie because we know there's thing and
there's 6 months between Batman's backbreaking and the finale,
right?
I believe of the film.
Yeah.
I could have done maybe with some time markers, kind of.
Sure.
Because they do go back and forth to this pit quite a lot.
Yeah, they do.
But great line. It reminds me of Goldfinger. Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. It's
Same
like,
style
then
voice.
You have my permission to die.
Yeah, it's very similar, actually. And so there's a chant that's used in this movie, and they say it's Moroccan. So maybe they're in Morocco.
How far is that from Chicago?
I'll do the research while you continue.
So, Bane has now crashed into Wayne Enterprises. He's back in Gotham already. And he takes Fox, Tate, and he needs one more board member to do what he's going to do. And Fredericks, this guy Fredericks, nominates himself. Back in the pit, we see a man attempting to escape. He's got a rope around his waist, and he's climbing up and does the kind of leap of faith to try and grab onto the edge, but he falls. And we learn that only one person ever escaped this pit. It was a child born in hell, born in here. But it's an old legend, nothing more.
You can't get any flights to Morocco right now, so I cannot tell you how long it takes.
But this is pre-COVID times.
So I do know that it looks really far.
Okay.
Like it's across the ocean.
It's
Morocco. Like that's pretty far. That's under Portugal. So, Bane's got some like style. Like taking him to this. That sounds like a vacation.
Yeah.
Hey, Bruce, I'm going to be taking over Gotham, where it's wintertime, and everyone's going to be going through a lot of bad shit. You want to go chill in Morocco? Because it's really nice.
Would have been easier just go to the island. Just like go to Toronto Island. I'm sure there's a pit there.
Chicago Island.
Chicago Island, yeah.
Gotham Island. New York Island.
Bane now has the reactor, and he's with Dr. Pavel, who we saw at the beginning of the film, who is forced to turn this reactor into a nuclear bomb. And he's just like, all right, it's done. The reactor's now a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Again, time's moving pretty fast here. But Bane removes the core from the reactor. And Pavel's warning him. He's like, no, it's going to be unstable. And it will, after 5 months, it'll disintegrate and just blow up. And Bane goes, yeah, that's my plan.
Yeah.
Idiot.
And?
That's what I'm going to do. I've got 5 months at this place. Blake then finds that Bane's men have been making all these explosives and mixing them into concrete.
Blake starts seeing the same people
pop up.
use in different outfits. So he's like, wait a second, you were the person
I know
here.
you.
Yeah, he's a smart guy, this Blake.
He is. He remembers faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be as good as a cop. I'd be good at that. I always remember a face. But being a cop is a detective is a hard job, I think.
Yeah. He's good at it. Very good at it. So realizes they've been making explosives mixing in with concrete, and these are all like buried under Gotham's tunnels, and they're planning to detonate these bombs. This is where we have, I remember this from the trailer, the epic Gotham football game.
See, can you see?
Perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful.
So this kid, this is epic. This trailer, the trailer for this movie, again, got crazy buzz and everything. And this is in it, where the kid's singing the national anthem to a stacked, full packed stadium here. And it's showing everyone just enjoying this football game they're about to watch. And Bane's like watching in like the like side area, like it's kind of dark. And he's like, it's a great voice. Wonderful voice you got there.
What a lovely, lovely voice.
So apparently the cameras were rolling for B-roll, and he said it. So Nolan's like, actually, that's funny. We need to record you in the Bane voice doing that because it's funny. So,
so he was just there with Tom Hardy going, what a lovely,
lovely
like voice.
He's in character and he's like riffing, but they were like, oh, you weren't supposed to talk there, but like, okay, that's funny.
Amazing. This was definitely the scene that I remember getting early buzz, because obviously there are a lot of extras in this. I remember the casting calls coming out being like, it's going to be Gotham, like Gotham FC, or not FC, but the football team.
Yeah.
And so there were a lot of leaks coming out of this.
Yeah, Heinz Field, the home of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay,
is where they filmed this. Yeah, so it looks like even the same colors were black and yellow for Gotham.
True.
It's funny that Batman uses black and yellow in a lot of his things because Gotham colors.
Yeah,
he loves the Gotham team.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, the shot of Bane watching on in the tunnel is fantastic. We see the mayor, Nestor Carbonell, Richard Alpert from Lost, back again for another Dark Knight film.
Nice.
He's in the box, ready for the game. the juxtaposition of like the beautiful rendition of the national anthem as all these bombs are about to go off is pretty cool. And let the games begin. So they kick the ball to start the game. Woo! As all these tunnels around Gotham are exploding. We see these exterior, like these wide shots of just Gotham's bombs going off. And one football player is running down the field as the pitch is exploding behind him.
Insane.
Looks awesome. He got the touchdown, though.
He scored. And he's like, he goes to turn around and be like, hey, go.
He was so in the moment.
Yeah, damn. Obviously they're using like CGI effects with this, but like it looks
great.
Insane. The fact that this is a terrorist attack, by the way.
It is.
We've been talking about the Joker from Jack Nicholson's Joker. We talked about the Penguin's plan was to steal babies. What did we talk about? The Riddler's plan and Two-Face's plan didn't make any sense in that movie.
Remember.
Yeah, I don't even
Did
know.
they have one?
Yeah. Oh, stealing the brainwaves from people.
Oh, fuck.
Right? That's what it was. Mr. Freeze wanted to freeze. He wanted the Ice Age, right? Yeah. Those are all pretty solid plans. But this is straight up a terrorist attack.
It's a terrorist.
This is like no joke. This is terrorism.
I'm taking over this city.
Yeah, fuck.
The bridges are exploding as well. That's a great shot. All the bridges connecting the city to everywhere else.
Yeah, this is clearly where it's like New York, like showing that Gotham is the size of New York. Because the bridges are all exploding, yeah.
And the cops are getting trapped in the tunnels, so all of Gotham's police, who are like running to get to these bombs, are now trapped underground.
How
so
funny is
no
that?
Police force.
They're like, hey, how many cops we got in the city? Because now they believe that there's this underground thing before this bomb goes off. So they convince the chief. He's like, all right, we got like 3,000 cops, give or take. We're gonna send all of them.
All of them.
Under this tunnel, and now
except for
trapped.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he can stay,
and Gordon,
and
a few other guys.
The rest, that's all we need. Just these four guys.
So they get stuck, which is unfortunate for the city of Gotham because 3,000 cops and they're all underground.
This for me is where the film steps it up a gear and moves into more of a epic.
Yes,
we're going into more of a war film.
This is No Man's Land. This is where they take
right.
from that comic where it's like, okay, now it's free for all.
And Bane has achieved more than any Batman villain ever has. As you said, this is a straight on terrorist attack.
Yeah.
This is bigger than anything the Joker managed, I'd say.
I mean, well, yeah, he's got a stadium full of these people.
He's taken control.
He's already killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
He cuts a promo, obviously, on
he comes out, this is the jacket, the kind of fur-trimmed Dean Ambrose jacket. And he says that he cuts this big speech saying that he tells people to take control of your city. And it's going to be just mayhem now. Yeah,
he then gets the doctor out there. He's like, hey, doc, please explain the bomb to everyone. And the doc goes, yeah, this is the bomb, da-da-da-da. Tell everyone how it can be turned off. Well, I'm the only one who can turn it off. Okay, cool. Cracks his neck in front of the whole stadium, so everyone's screaming and stuff. So 6-mile radius blast this new has. So that's pretty much enough to break the whole city, the island.
Go home and hold your families close.
Yeah, he's a mean guy.
Martial law is in effect. Gotham is fucked.
And Bruce is watching this in the pit.
And he's like, oh man, wish I was there.
The president goes on TV. So you're saying this was 2016?
16 it would have been.
Yeah, so...
this would have been Trump.
It's very interesting you bring Trump up because Trump once had a great speech where he borrowed a line from this Bane speech. Maybe inadvertently.
Right.
But it's
what
interesting.
What line was it?
I had it. Fuck. Something about to you the people when Bane the thing, and he continues on. So he's using it in the same like you people need you trusted so and so, but you need to think. So people had compared.
You need to think.
Someone compared like the two lines like with what he said.
I'll look it up.
But in 2016 is our kayfabe storyline.
I think so because Dark Knight's 2008, isn't it? So let's assume it was. Set in 2008.
Yeah, so
8 years on.
So I mean, the president they show here briefly on like little clips, and the FBI, CIA, everyone's the Pentagon. They're all trying to like realize what's going on, and the president has to do like this speech, but it didn't look like Trump.
No, and he says that look, we don't negotiate with terrorists, but we're realizing the realities of what's going on. Gotham City, we have not abandoned you, and Blake asks Gordon, like, what does that mean? It means we're on our own. He's bullshitting. Like, they've abandoned us. We're on our own.
The president does not care.
The bridges are all being manned by the military, and if one person crosses the bridge, they'll blow it up. So there's no leaving Gotham at all. Bane cuts another promo standing on a tank in front of City Hall.
Yeah, this is the one where he goes, "To you, the people," and Trump did the whole thing just doing it the same.
Oh boy, Jesus!
For you, to you, the people.
And this is where Bane reads James Gordon's letter, announcing his resignation and telling the truth about Harvey Dent. So all these prisoners have been, like, it's all false. Like, it was a false idol in Harvey, and yeah.
I mean, Bane's like basically saying, hey, look, Harvey Dent was a lie. This whole thing was a lie. They've been hiding this secret for 8 years when Dent was actually the bad. Because he reads the whole thing and explains to everybody that Gordon lied. Which, while Gordon and Blake are watching this at TV, like, being like, what? He's pissed at Gordon. But
yeah, Blake seems genuinely kind of betrayed and hurt here.
Bane's like, oh, so this guy lied, so everyone else is technically, like, it's all a lie too. It's like, well, no, those are still criminals,
Yeah.
Bane. Sorry, Bane's logic is a little backwards, but I mean, he is in fact a terrorist.
But
so.
it's more like showing your own law aren't following these
so why
rules,
do we?
So why we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this scene between Blake and Gordon I think is awesome, because Gordon is trying to justify, like, look, I had to do this, and sometimes you got to do shitty things, and I just think he's great.
Oh man, Gary Oldman is so good. Like, again, like this whole movie needs all these connecting pieces to make it go so well. And we were praising Michael Caine and stuff, but yeah, Gary Oldman. I always think of him in was he Air Force One? I think he's the bad guy in this movie. Harrison Ford.
Seen Leon?
Leon? Oh yeah, the professional.
He's the bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad guy in that.
Oh man,
taking those pills.
Fifth Element? Is he not in Fifth Element? Yeah. Dude, he's amazing.
Wait, what's the one where he plays the Rastafarian? With Christian Slater.
Did he win an Oscar? He's Dracula too. Yeah, he's Dracula. He's been in some crazy things. He's been in a lot of things. He's filmed some things.
True Romance. That's the film.
True Romance. Yes. Oh, I need to rewatch that. I just rewatched Natural Born Killers, and I'm like, man, isn't this so similar? Now I want to go back and rewatch that. Damn. Yeah. Like, he's in RoboCop. What, a remake of RoboCop? That doesn't sound too good. Yeah. He's in a bunch, but like, did he ever win an Oscar? Because he definitely.
I think
one Oscar.
So, yeah.
What was it? Good. He definitely deserved it.
What did he win for?
He won for leading role in Darkest Hour, which is what the movie about Winston Churchill. So he plays Winston Churchill.
Oh, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy as well.
He was nominated for that one. Yeah.
But yeah, Blake is kind of disgusted by Gordon and says, "Your hands look pretty filthy to me, Commissioner." I feel for Gordon. I do.
Yeah, he's literally the main hero.
And Gotham's been great for 8 years, even if it was based on a lie.
Yeah.
There hasn't been crime.
Yeah, come on.
We start to see Gotham go to hell. There's riots, there's looting, there's public trials, prisoners getting released.
Yeah, he lets the prisoners out. Bane lets them out and then hands them guns as they leave prison. Like, here you go, start your new life. Yeah. Go for it, free for all, no man's land.
As Bane finishes his speech and goes, "This great city will endure."
Yeah. He clearly
he's very Shakespearean here.
Well, I mean, he clearly was a fan of Michael Caine in the last movie when Bruce asked Alfred, what should I do? Endure. So it's a callback to that as well. But yeah, this is when anarchy. This is scary. Like, anyone can do anything. They go into people's houses. People are getting robbed, looted. It's all anarchy. There's no law.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nuts. Great visuals.
Back in the pit, Bruce is with his new mates down there, and one of them is like, "Look, right, Bruce, we got to fix your back. We should probably start by fixing your back.
You got to get your back back.
And as we're fixing your back, let's tell you a bit more backstory about Bane."
Sorry, what story? Backstory? Like, this is where he fixes him.
Yeah.
This is literally...
So he ties like a noose rope around his
back.
waist,
yeah.
like holding up under the armpits. He's holding him up. and he's going, right, well, there was this... Bane was beaten up as a kid.
Crack.
And by these other prisoners, and the doctor tried to fix him, but kind of fucked him up further, and he'd always be in pain unless he wears this mask. The mask keeps the pain at bay. He's
almost telling Bruce a broken telephone version of the story.
Yeah.
He really could have helped Bruce out by telling him the full story.
The proper story.
But someone else in the pit says something in a language Bruce doesn't know, and is like, I shouldn't be bad-mouthing Bane, considering he pays us to make sure you don't die.
Yeah,
like, that's
we're here to keep you alive.
But then he's helping him with his back, so it's like, all right. He also says that his back technically wasn't broken, but vertebrae has to be put back. So I don't know.
Like displaced?
Yeah, so I don't know if technically, because 6 months, if you
I'm sure it's completely medically accurate.
Yeah, Bruce is like, I just need to get to my guy somewhere else who will put the stem cell stuff in my back. I'll be fine.
He tells him about this mercenary who fell in love with a warlord's daughter, and the mercenary was sentenced to the pit, but then he was actually exiled, and the daughter had traded her place for him. So he went, and the mercenary's child, the daughter was then pregnant and gave birth to the mercenary's child in this pit. And one day that door was left open and the girl was attacked, and the child was taken away and saved by this unknown person in the pit. This hero.
There was a hero that saved Bane, and Bane's the one who made the jump and got out of there. So Bruce is like, oh. So again, you're right. There is no timestamps because it's cutting back and forth to what's going on in Gotham, and they're telling you time now is going on, weeks go by, time is going by. So his back is slowly healing. He's drinking some miso soup or something.
He's doing
in a
press-ups,
yeah,
sit-ups.
Yeah, all that stuff, and tries to climb.
He looks great. He looked better than he did at the beginning of the film.
Yeah, he does, because he's rehabbing, bat rehab. But he fails.
Well, as he's there after his back gets kind of hit, he sort of passes out and sees Ra's al Ghul, who tells Bruce that, I told you I was immortal. And Bruce realizes that Ra's was perhaps the mercenary from the story, and that Bane is his child, is the child of Ra's al Ghul. But he wakes up, and now he's able to stand, and he's starting to look good. He gets a bit of a Rocky training montage as he's working out and getting back into shape. Yeah, I did remember when it leaked that Liam Neeson had filmed something, and people were like, "Oh shit, is he alive?" Because you never saw the body, and it's like, well, no, we're pretty sure he's dead because that subway crash we talked about in the Batman Begins, he's dead. So this was a way of Nolan kind of doing a nod to the comics, because I believe Ra's al Ghul is immortal in the comics. He's spiritual. The Lazarus pit keeps him alive and all that sort of stuff. So here, having him as a hallucination, it's like, yeah, the spirit of Ra's al Ghul lives on, and he is immortal. So it's having the character of Ra's work in Nolan's more realistic world. Bruce is tripping balls and trying to put pieces together. So he is kind of seeing this Ra's al Ghul stand. Liam Neeson just hanging around. He's like, Bruce, I have a particular set of skills. You need them to get out of the... again here as well, like Star Wars. You need to get... Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, he's just always going to be ghosts. Yes. Yeah. But Bruce fails on his first attempt to jump. And he's like, yeah, but a child did it. Like, a child did it, so I can do it. He's like, hey, man, you just told me a story about a kid jumping out of this pit, climbing out of this pit, so I tried and I fell. So, what the hell, man? A kid did it. You said a kid did it. Why can't I do it? And the guy's like, white privilege, bro. You grew up privileged. He's like, who's born here? You were born a billionaire. Yeah, you were literally born Bruce Wayne, so that's why you can't climb a pit, asshole. So you gotta train. Gordon and Blake are trying to free the cops that are trapped under these tunnels, and they have this captain and some more men try and join them, and they put together a plan where they're going to take out the mercenaries and blow up these tunnels. It's like underground cops, like this group of secret cops getting together. Not all cops, but these secret cops. Fox reveals that the reactor has 23 days just to kind of timestamp us. So a few months. It's going to blow up. Yeah, more months have surpassed now. With more like winter time. And he needs to get the core back to the reactor to stabilize it. That's the only way he can think of stopping this thing from going off. Bane and his men attack and kill all these new men that are helping them, kills the captain, and then hangs them on the bridge so everyone can see. Like,
if you're trying to be a cop or a hero, we kill heroes here. Justice is served. And Bruce is watching this on the TV in his pit.
Like, oh, man.
He's trying to get the Jays game on. He's smacking the TV, and he's like, oh, no, the news is back on, and cops dying.
So, back at the pit, one of the, I think it's the blind man, tells Bruce that fear will stop you from escaping.
Fear is why you fail.
Fear is why you fail. And he goes, I'm not afraid, I'm angry. And they build it up. You have another training montage. The music swells, builds up for Bruce.
He puts his thing on, his bungee jump cord thing.
He's going to jump, but he fails again. We get a little flash of young Bruce being lifted out of the well by his father when he was a kid. And this is when the blind man tells him that he should fear, because it's fear that keeps us alive. If you know you'll survive from a fall, are you really going to make it? Whereas if you know your life depends on it, that's what drives you. And Bruce says he is afraid. He's afraid of dying in here while his city burns. So the man tells him, well then, you need to do it right now. But do it like the child did, without a rope.
Ah.
And that's when they start chanting. He goes, yo, what are they chanting over there? It means rise.
Yes. I love this bit, this chanting thing. I saw, obviously looking it up, it's Deshi Basara, which is Moroccan, apparently. Sort of close to something along the lines of rise. And stuff.
Yeah.
So the use of it in this movie is great. And then Hans was like, that sounds sick. Let me take a crack at that. And then uses it, incorporates it into the music.
It sounds awesome.
Like, what, dude? Yeah, again, Hans is definitely another character in this movie. And part of the, I'm sure he had his hands on helping with the chant and all this stuff. But the chant is crazy. I always think of this. Rise.
And this scene gets better and better as he's climbing. The music's swelling. The chants are kind of getting louder and louder. And just as he's about to jump, bats fly out of the wall.
Yeah.
And it's almost a scare jump, this bit, because you're like, whoa, because he was about to go. But it's also the Batman is rising.
Right. And
the music starts to swell to the wow, wow. And he leaps. It goes silent. And he makes it. Hey! Woo! You did it.
Yeah, pretty sweet. It's built up like this whole thing, and the sound is so wild and such a good thing. And again, the use of like the pause of it is awesome.
And there's a rope just at the top, so he throws it down. So has he helped all these guys escape as well?
Maybe. I hope. And then they're like, oh, we're actually criminals too.
Yeah.
That's why we're in this place.
I like that when supposed Bane escapes, he's like, nah, fuck him. I'm leaving the rope up here.
Well, yeah. I mean, that would be the case, but
to be fair, he had gripes with a lot of those prisoners.
Yeah. I love that The Dark Knight Rises is the whole thing of the name of the movie, and he literally does that here.
This is
so
it.
yeah, I love the whole theme of the movie is rise. Like, no matter what is thrown at you can't give up. Essentially, is the moral of the story, and it is a fantastic moral.
And then Bruce just manages to get to Gotham. Don't question it. Broke Bruce, who's been living in a pit in the middle of nowhere, just gets back to Gotham.
All right.
All the bridges are blown up and there's no way into Gotham, but he's broke Bruce Wayne. Don't question it. Don't question it. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
What are the theories here?
It's
How
fine.
did he do this? So the bridges are all fucked up. No one is allowed to cross any bridges that aren't blown up, and if they do, they will be like, the bomb will go off, is what Bane's ordered. So all these outside interference, the government, the army can't get in. Batman is in Morocco, poor, because he's broke. All he knows is that he's got his cave with his shit in it, that if he just gets to it, like, he'll be all right, because he's got his stash of bat stuff. But he's got to get to there. How does he do this? What do you do in this situation?
Do you not want to know my theory?
What is your theory?
It's the prestige.
Like, he's got magic.
He's got a double.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
One of them's in love with Selena Kyle. The
Yeah.
other's in love with Miranda Tate.
Right. I mean, he's taking the visuals trick from Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. I don't know. This is one of the big
Plot.
plot holes that bugs me. I love this film.
Okay, hold on.
I'm always like,
Let's think about it, though. Batman is a smart guy, and he is trained in these Ninja League of Shadows type things. So he's smarter than everyone. And even though he's lost his money, rich people know what they're doing with money. They hide money. He probably's got connections. He's probably got a phone number he gets to, the closest phone that he can get to, and call someone who's like, yeah, here's your secret bank account access of $5 million that he's got, like, secret, like, he's Bruce, like, he's probably got places set up all over the world.
Who's helping him?
Yeah.
Fox is captured right now.
Well, no one's got to help him. He's just got to be like, hey, he's got to access his money, and is where someone somewhere will access. Because it doesn't say how long time will. He shows up and it's like, oh, more now. There's only tomorrow, so it's like there's 2-week gap there.
There is, because this is 23 days.
We're really breaking this down, but the realism here.
Well, we should. We
need to.
This is the thing that bugs me.
Yeah, because there's a 2-week window there. So
he gets back with about a day left, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking 2 weeks.
Because Lucius was just saying like, hey, 15 days or something.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks.
23 days, he said. Oh, so more than that. It's like 22 days. Almost 3 weeks.
I know that, like, someone as rich as him, he's got ideas of where to put money and stuff like that. There's a few actors in this movie, cameos and stuff from the show Prison Break.
Okay, yeah, the prison warden is
actually the warden in Prison Break, which is weird. One of the cops is also one of the evil, like, cops or something like that too. But maybe he's got something like planned, like in Prison Break. The guy plans out like, well, if I am free, then I need places of stashed money, stashed guns, stashed things. So maybe Morocco.
Alfred telling him about the pit earlier, he's like, maybe just in case maybe you give me the heads up.
That's a stretch.
Maybe I'll put something over there.
He didn't ever think he was going to end up in this pit. He just thought he was going to die. So maybe, I bet you he's got backup plans where someone could help him out. Like money, all he needs is money, and that's it. You don't need passports if you got millions of dollars. Like, you know what I mean? So he's got to have had access to get to somewhere where he could get to his bat, because then how is he even going to fly into Gotham?
His bat's parked in Gotham.
So, like, how did he get here? How?
Did he swim?
Well, we don't see the bat boat in this movie,
as well.
But they could have shown the bat boat. Maybe that could have, like, helped. Does he have teleportation?
Yeah, he probably did some cash in hand work on, like, a boat doing trade,
right?
Like working as a deckhand or something.
Well,
like
no,
that.
he just pays them. He's got all this money.
No, he doesn't have money.
But I assume he instantly gets access to money.
I don't know if he's finding money so easily.
I think he does.
Desert.
No, I think once he got out, he goes to the nearest town, and his house has.
I reckon he's doing trade. Like, gets on a boat that's doing trade between there and the US. Then he gets into the US.
He got Aquaman to help him.
Then when he's in the US, people are going to recognize him as Bruce Wayne, and he can then access some funds.
I feel like if I'm this crazy rich person, I'm going to have so many things hidden secretly, like, just in case. And, like, I feel like there's something over in Europe that he had, like, set. Like, maybe.
He's not in Europe.
Possible. Well, like, he's close enough. Okay. In Morocco. I feel like there's ways that he could have done this. He also is very slick. So, like, yeah, maybe he does have a bat suit in, like, other parts of the world. Or he called his friends from the Justice League to help him out. Or I don't know how he got there. But it was 28 days, 27 days?
It was 23, so it takes him about 22 days to get back. So 3 weeks.
It's doable if you're Batman. Not doable for us, but doable if you're Batman. So maybe he flew Porter.
This is like they should like just do an episode of TV, which is just filling in this gap.
Wow.
I'd see it. Do a whole series on it. How does Batman just this bit from Dark Knight Rises? Hey, they did Rogue One, which is. Yeah, so why did the Death Star build this hole that if you blow it up, it just explodes?
This is true.
Let's make a film about it.
This is true. This could potentially... There's a plot hole here of how did he get from Morocco as a poor man to Gotham, which was isolated from the rest of the country and the world, but somehow he got there and manages to go back to his cave to get all his stuff, including the thing for Selina Kyle, that he shows up here and goes, oh, hey, do you need this thing? Because I have it right here. I just almost died and escaped a pit, but I have this thing for you.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah, it's odd.
We just broke that down.
We
in
did.
depth.
We did.
And we still don't
I
have
want
an
to know
answer.
what you guys think.
At upNXT
Let us
podcast,
know.
what is the theories? Like, I can watch YouTube videos and go off, but like, no, I want your theories.
Absolutely.
On this. Yeah.
We see one of these public trials. Crane, Dr. Crane, the Scarecrow, is back for his third film. He's one of the recurring ones.
Nice. Good
Nice
for
little
him.
cameo. And he says this isn't a trial. This is a sentencing. You've already been found guilty. This is to Stryver, who's one of Daggett's men, and says, "I give you the choice. It's either exile or death." So Stryver chooses exile. So he's exiled to walk across. The way of leaving Gotham is by walking across the frozen lake, the frozen river.
Yeah, this is with Gordon too, right? No. Not
This
yet.
is with Stryver at this
Right.
point, and he falls and dies. So we see that it's death or death is the offer. Gordon then tries to get one of his old cop mates to help. He's like, "Come on, man." He's like, "Nah, like people hate cops right now. I ain't going in the streets dressed
Yeah.
as a cop."
Wow.
It's like, well, the city's gonna explode tomorrow, and you'll be dead.
Hope you're happy.
So just come and help me, dickhead. And he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna hang with my kids."
Yeah.
It's like, fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, your family left you. What are you fighting for? Like, I'm fighting for my kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're showing everyone's kind of
Torn.
Everyone's torn.
Yeah.
So Miranda Tate just goes, "Look, Gordon, I'll help you out. I'll help you. We can do it." That's where we see Bruce return to Selina and tells her that I need help finding Lucius Fox. I need Lucius Fox. Here's the thing you've been looking for. I'll give you that.
Clean slate.
And you can help me.
She did look like concerned, like, "Oh, I thought they killed you," but she could have been a bit more. And he's also
She
like,
puts up a mask.
she's also like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm over it. You made a mistake," is what he says. "There's more to you. I know there's more to you."
Well, I think it is. Like, she's always putting up a front, like
Yeah.
holding like what she's actually feeling.
Yeah.
Gordon now gets caught by the mercenaries and is sentenced by Crane to death by exile. Bruce is deliberately captured so he can be taken to Fox and Tate. And as a lot of Bane's men think Selina Kyle's still working for Bane, she manages to get in and help them all escape. So now Fox, Bruce, and Tate are out, and Fox gives Bruce like this EMP cannon thing, which will basically block the trigger for this bomb, because Bane has said that there's a civilian out there who has the trigger.
Right.
That will just
Some
activate it.
civilian he's chosen, handpicked a regular civilian that has the trigger that can blow it up. Which is fucked, but yeah.
And this is where Fox makes mention again that there's no autopilot in the bat.
Right.
So they're going to fly around to try and like block this trigger that might go off. Blake is still trying to get all the police out from these tunnels. And then we've got these mercenaries who are taken out as, Gordon sentenced to death, walking across
He's
the
like,
ice.
"I'm not walking on the ice," and then they're like, "We're going to shoot you
Yeah.
if you don't." So he starts to walk on the ice.
He starts to walk on the ice when Batman takes them all out with batarangs and stuff.
He's got poison
Darts or
darts?
something? Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about these in my bat scores. Maybe I got to redo my bat scores. Because, yeah, he's got poison bat darts that look like the little logo of the movie, the little bat. He throws them at someone, and then they go, "Ugh," and they
They
drop.
all just pass out.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And then Batman throws Gordon a flare and he's like, "Light it up." So then we see Batman's there. And I'm thinking, the whole thing is this ice can break.
Yeah.
And now you're just throwing fire around on the ice. And just casually get off the ice, guys. Why are we having this
Yeah.
conversation on the ice?
I also just like hearing Batman. So he throws him one of those flares.
Yeah.
And Gordon realizes it's him and is like, "Oh my God, you're alive." And Batman's first thing is like, one of my favorite things that I usually say every day, "Light it up." Light it up. So he does.
So Gordon throws the flare on the ice to like a fuse.
So we got, a day before this bomb
Right?
goes off? So
Okay.
Batman goes, it would be a good idea is I'm going to spend more time making my logo dressed up in gas on this bridge.
You know what? You asked if there were, you said maybe there's other channels on that TV.
Right.
He was watching Art Attack on the other channel. And he's
This
like,
is an
"I've got to
Art
do my big Art Attack. I'm back in Gotham, guys."
Yeah.
What is he doing? Wasting his time. I mean, it looks cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, he lights it up, and there's a massive fire bat on the bridge. That
fuck yeah, fire
stop
bat.
wasting time.
It's like
get off the ice before you die.
My mom always would watch the movie The Mask of Zorro, and Zorro does that in that movie. He lights up his logo, the Z, that's his calling card. And this is Nolan really must love that movie to put this in here. But another kind of like head scratching, like, well, wait a second, Batman, like that's just doing more wasting time and destruction. Like we should probably sort this nuke out, but instead you're like, hold on, I got to get my logo up there. Got to make sure everyone knows it's me.
Yeah. And everyone does know it's him. Yeah, Batman's back, and people are losing their shit.
Yeah, Bane knows it too.
Bane is like, I don't believe it. That's not possible.
Not possible.
Batman then saves Blake, who's going to be killed by some bad guys, and he tells him, you have to wear a mask to protect the ones you care about. And then blows up the tunnel with the bat, allowing the 3,000 cops to escape. So now we've got a bit of an army.
Yeah,
we've got a bit of an army going on.
The cops are freed, and Batman tells Catwoman, Selina, like, hey, I've given you the clean slate. Take the bat bike, go clear this other tunnel thing, like, help us out. That's all I need from you. And you can help. And she's like, that's all I'm going to do.
I'm going to fuck off after that.
Yeah, sorry, I'm leaving because I don't think you're going to do a good job. No one believes in Batman this whole movie.
She tries to convince him to come with her. She goes,
let's fuck off.
You've done enough for this city. Live your life. Like, we can go. We can get out of here.
You've given them everything. Not everything. Not yet.
So the police are now out of the tunnel, and we see Gordon's mate that he was trying to convince to come out earlier. He's now leading the charge. He had a change of heart. Babyface turn from this guy, and he says, there's only one police in this town, and they're going to take Gotham back from these mercenaries as they're marching towards the bad guys. And Bane gives the order to open fire when the bat flies in to protect them, and they charge.
It's a battle. Gangs in New York here.
It is. I'm getting Lord of the Rings vibes. Just two armies going at it.
Yeah, it's definitely like two towers there where they're going at it. Yeah, that's true.
Now there's just this full-on fight in the street, and Batman and Bane see each other. They're staring each other down, and they fight. Everyone now is trying to execute their plans. There's Fox at the reactor. There's the EMP cannon thing. There's Blake running around with the police. Like,
it's chaos.
So many plans going round. All these fights in the streets, and the punch up here between Bane and Batman is great. Batman looks better than he was before. There are these awesome, and I always remember for some reason this bit, as they're fighting outside of, I guess, City Hall, or whatever it is, Bane does these really quick body shots to Batman. That looks fantastic.
Yeah, I remember when the pictures leaked, it was memed. When early days in 2012 of memes, I guess, because it looked, when he's doing that, it looks like they're dancing. So it looked like they're having a grand old time.
I think there are shots of them like chilling.
There is
as well, where it just looks so weird.
Yeah, it's so funny.
So yeah, it's winter, so it's snowing during this fight as well, and you see Batman get one shot, and it kind of busts one of the like tubes on Bane's mask. And now, I don't know if you noticed, but Bane's fighting starts to get a bit wilder. He's like swinging his arms more. He's not as precise as he was before. And Batman is now taking over. He's breaking more of these vessels on his face as Bane is just like staggering and losing it.
From this point on, Hans Zimmer goes off.
Oh, yeah.
Like, from the rest of the movie, from this fight scene, he's like mixing in all the different motifs from all these bat things, and then like the crazy like wind up fighting. Like Hans was like, "Here, Hans, just go, just show us." Like he didn't need to go that hard, but he did. I think
it's the same in Dark Knight, where Hans kind of provides this intensity and almost anxiety-filled music, because right from the opening scene, it's that like noise that just plays, and they do it in Dark Knight. That really and it just puts you slightly on edge throughout the film. And as you say, it's building up, and everything's coming crashing together. Batman's yelling, "Where's the trigger? Tell me where the trigger is. Then you have my permission to die."
As he's whooping his ass,
and Bane's just there. And he realizes that, like, he's broken Batman. Batman doesn't kill.
Yeah.
Bane goes, I broke you. And Bane's like, Batman's going, I escaped just like you did. And you weren't the only one that escaped.
You were the child.
And Bane goes, I didn't escape. And Miranda Tate stabs Batman in the back.
He's not the child.
I was the child of Ra's al Ghul. I am Talia al Ghul.
What?
And she reveals that she has the trigger. And Bane was actually her protector. She was the child, and Bane was the one who protected her. And for protecting her, he got beaten up. And that's why he had the mask. So as you said, it was broken telephone, a bit going on. And the League of Shadows then took in Bane and trained him. But Ra's only saw a monster and excommunicated him. The only crime was that he loved her. And you see Bane is crying as I assume the pain is just taking over his body as well.
Oh, I thought he realized that part of the plan was that she had to smash Bruce. So he was just figuring that out right there.
And she says, I honor my father for finishing his work. And she clicks the detonator, but it doesn't go off because the EMP cannon. And she goes, well, it's going to go off in 11 minutes anyway, so you've just bought yourself 11 minutes extra time. And that's when Catwoman, Selena Kyle, comes in for the save. She didn't leave after all.
Oh, I knew she wouldn't leave. She shoots Bane.
She shoots Bane.
Because Bane is like, she leaves, Talia leaves Bane and is like, all right, don't kill him. You're going to have to be the sacrifice Bane here. You're going to be that guy now. You're the mercenary. You're going to take the fall and die. But you're going to point this gun to Batman's head and make sure he dies too so he can watch and feel this thing. But then as soon as she leaves, he's like, nah, you can pretend you saw it. I just want to kill you because I need to be the one to kill you. And as this happens is when she comes
Selena comes in.
Yeah, great. Like it shows that he's more evil. He just wanted to be the one to like hurt this guy.
Batman,
but she shoots him up and that's it. He's dead just like that.
Is it anticlimactic?
I guess, but then she turns. Batman's like, "Thank God."
Like I think it's a great save because Selena's been terrified of this man throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
and she said she was leaving. She's showing she does care. She has come for the save. I think leaving Talia as then the final villain is a bit of an anticlimax.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair.
But good final moment where you're seeing Bane kind of crying as well.
Yeah, the acting there without even saying anything in some of the stuff with a mask on is definitely hard to get across, and he did a good job. I like when Anne Hathaway here, or Catwoman, says, yeah, that whole no guns thing, I don't feel as strongly as you do, because she just shot up Bane, and he's probably like, yeah, that's all right.
Fair enough. At that point, yeah.
Yeah.
Blake is trying to get all the kids from the orphanage out of the city, but these cops are blocking the way. And they've got their orders that no one's to step foot or they'll blow up the bridge. And Blake tries to reason with them and is like, come on, guys. And sure enough, they blow up the bridge. And he's mad. He calls them sons of bitches and idiots. And yeah, so the way to escape is now no more. Batman is in the Bat giving chase to Talia. There's 5 minutes left on the clock before the bomb's going to go off. This whole chase is pretty nuts. There's like lorries just flipping and crashing into shit.
Nolan loves flipping trucks
more than Nolan.
Yeah, like he's just like flipping these things. There's so many car crashes and everything. It's getting like even more insane here. And Talia ends up
they blow up her truck and Talia is dying, and she says that like she's always got a plan, so she's triggered the emergency flood, which is to flood where the reactor is, which was the only thing that was going to stabilize this bomb. So poor Lucius is trying to not get drowned here as he's climbing up on this reactor. She says, there is no way this bomb will not go off. Back to Blake with these kids. He's like, right, guys, get in the bus. You're all going to be fine. It's all going to be in the fine. We're far enough from the radius of the bomb. Get in. And they're like, sort of, guy who runs the orphanage, it's like, yo, are you mad? Like, we're all gonna die. And Blake's going, yeah, you want these kids to die with no hope? And he's saying this really loudly as these kids are just walking
like, wait,
past.
we're going to die? What?
Sorry, what did you say, sir? So Batman realizes there's only one thing he can do to save the day. He's got to fly the bomb away. Selina's reasoning with him. It's like, can't you just set it to autopilot? And he goes, yeah, there's no fucking autopilot in this thing.
Thanks, Fox.
Selina kisses him goodbye. Gordon is saying, look, the world should know who the Batman is. Like, if
they're wasting so much time.
you're gonna die, we need to know.
This is like 2 minutes, and he's like, hold on, I
Has a
gotta
little
mac out with
snog.
this chick in the cat suit, because, like, when am I gonna get a chance to do that? And he's like, thanks, babe, nice to meet you. Hey, Gordon, let's talk for a second. We got a lot of history here. Let's talk for another minute while this thing's still going.
And Gordon's like, look, I don't want to know who you are, but tell me who you are.
Fucking tell me who you are.
So he goes, a hero can be someone who puts his coat around a little boy's shoulders to assure him the world hasn't ended. And Gordon has a flashback to him comforting a young Bruce Wayne. And he's like, oh, it was Bruce? It's like, dude, finally! How have you not worked this out yet?
Huh. Wow, that's wild.
So Batman then gets in the bat, flies off, is flying away over the ocean, and the bomb goes off. Batman is dead.
Yes, so...
But Gotham is saved.
he flies approximately 6 miles out into the ocean. A lot of fish died.
Yeah.
But he saved Gotham. So,
He
I
saved
mean, like,
Gotham.
sorry, but...
Sorry, salmon.
Yeah, like, the people were more important,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But it does cut to him, like, in the suit, kind of pausing for a second, like...
He has almost like a smile.
It's almost like I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I am the hero. Like, like, he's almost content. He made it. He made it.
It's great. I love this. Like,
Yeah.
Batman sacrificing himself for Gotham. And we cut to the funeral where Commissioner Gordon's there reading like the eulogy. I think he's reading like a poem for Bruce. This is Bruce Wayne's funeral. And Michael Caine,
Comes back.
fucking fantastic here. He's sobbing and saying, I failed you. You trusted me and I failed you.
Man.
Yeah, he's great. Blake has quit the force. He's had enough. He's got another plan. And
Lucius Fox is like now kind of cleaning up the mess because Bane's like goons were using all their tanks and all their
that's
stuff.
right.
Like
Yeah,
in
they
their
stole the armory.
armory of all Batman's like gear essentially and stuff. So Lucius is kind of fixing up these things and he's talking to these scientist people and they're like, "Oh, sir, it looks like you did end up fixing that autopilot on that thing." And he's like, "What? No, I didn't." "Oh, well, it says Mr. Bruce Wayne did it."
6 months ago. Yeah.
You get to see like people were left when Bruce dies. You get left with the will, like all the stuff you get
Yes.
owed. So someone's got there's a package.
So Alfred's pretty much got everything, but Bruce, like Wayne Manor has
Yeah.
been turned into like the orphanage for the boys. And Blake has got this like scuba jumping.
It's a pack with like it's got like rope things to go down, like cave diving essentially with like these lights and stuff and directions.
Cave diving, that's the word.
Yeah, cave diving and like directions on where this is. So he's kind of like, all right, so
And when he's given this package, the lady's like, "Oh, I don't know why you don't use your full name. It's nice. Here you go, Robin."
what?
Gordon says, "We will know who saved the city. It was the Batman," as there's the unveiling of the Batman tribute, the Batman statue. And I mentioned at the beginning that there's a tribute to Heath Ledger in this. And it pans out, and you've got the kind of unveiling of it, and it's in the shape of the Joker face.
Oh, okay.
So that's the only nod.
Right.
Is they're doing the tribute to Batman, but this is the tribute to Heath.
Got you,
in this
got you.
scene, which is pretty nice. For some reason, it just popped up in an article like last week, and I go, "Oh, and I'm doing this film next week."
Yeah, interesting.
Kind of interesting. So Robin is now finding the Batcave.
Great scene where he's cave diving into this thing. He's like, "What the fuck am I even doing here? What the hell?" But he knew all along, so he's like, "All right, I guess I'm gonna see what's going on here." And the thing starts to like
Lift up.
yeah, but not quite yet because he's still like looking
He's
around
looking around. Bats are flying around. There's
Yeah.
the waterfall.
as it cuts.
to Alfred in Florence, drinking his weird drink.
Just Fernet.
And then you see him look up and smile. And it cuts to Bruce Wayne with Selina Kyle, sat down, just enjoying life. And Alfred nods, smiles, salutes him with his glass. And it cuts to Robin, who's then just being raised as we cut to black. I say raised, like rising up in this
You mean
cave.
he rises?
Rises.
Yeah,
to
Robin rises.
Assume he's going to be the new Batman.
Yes. As the credits roll.
Yeah. Okay. This is something that's quite... This is like the spinning top in Inception.
Yes.
Did Batman fix the autopilot and jump out of this and survive and move and live happily ever after with Selina in Florence? Or is this another just dream from Alfred?
Right, yeah. That's what we mentioned. The Inception kind of leans on the similar things here, where it's like, you could have also... You could have just shown the camera showing someone, like, not showing Bruce.
What, really do the spinning top? Like he's about to turn around and it cuts to black?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. You know he's not going to die. Like, you know he wasn't going to die.
Like, I think it's still... They kind of... With learning about the autopilot, they kind of say he survived.
Yeah.
But I like kind of going, oh, did he? Didn't he?
Okay, well then, let's break down this theory. How the fuck... He had a minute. He's already in the sky. What's he got, an eject thing that sends him 6 miles away from the explosion? It showed him in the cabin, in the bat.
Yeah.
Where was he going to go?
What, is he safer underwater? I don't know.
No.
Exactly. No. So he could be dead.
He should be dead.
He should be.
Unless he had the same people that helped him in Morocco.
Yeah.
Chilling in the waters.
Well, no,
his boat friends that you said.
Yeah. I like it. I like it, though, that it's open to interpretation.
Sure, yeah. They show you he's alive.
No, I mean, I see it kind of, it could be a bit of a dream as well. I don't know.
I'll tell you what a dream is. A dream is Gordon Levitt here becoming Batman Beyond in the next trilogy of movies, but they didn't go with that.
It would have been cool to continue with Gordon Levitt here.
So that leaves you to there. They turn Wayne Manor into an orphanage for young kids, and Robin takes over the grounds, essentially. He's going to become Batman, become this Robin, and become the next superhero. So in this universe, Gotham's fine.
Gotham's safe.
Because they got this great
got Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, he's going to be helping them out with, everything. So, yeah, everything is leaves it perfectly. You never did need to retouch it.
What did you think of the Robin line? Is it a bit on the nose?
Yeah, everyone laughed in the theater.
The thing is, I think if Robin's real name wasn't Dick, they'd have gone with his real name.
Yeah.
But I see why they just go with Robin, because you should use real name.
Yeah.
Dick. It's just not going to work as well.
I remember even in 2012 I was younger, but the nose up, the nerdy comic book fans in us were well, wait a second, his name should be Dick Grayson. Yeah. At least the girl should have went, wait, sorry, you go by Blake? Yeah, that's my middle name. Well, okay, Mr. Grayson. And then everyone went,
yeah.
To do Robin, when it's that's not even his real, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
The thought was there. The idea was there. And maybe Nolan's no, I don't want a fucking Robin, Dick Grayson in my universe.
He always said he didn't want to.
Exactly.
He didn't want to do Robin.
Exactly.
So this was his way. All right, I've kind of done Robin.
Yeah. So you could have done it like that. But either way, it's still a good reveal. Also, he's a good actor, so the way he sells it is I would believe you as a Robin, as a Nightwing, as a Batman. In another universe, there's a Batman Beyond series trilogy with Gordon Levitt. 100%.
I mean, still, never say never. We're getting Michael Keaton back.
This is 100% true. This is totally true.
After this one fails, we can maybe try and...
No, they got Pattinson, though.
They do, yes.
Yeah. But yes, that was The Dark Knight Rises. He rose. Or maybe he died. Possibly.
Yeah, overall on rewatch, I feel kind of how I've always felt with this film. It's epic. I kind of, for some reason, I compare it to Return of the King. Because they everything's heightened. They're taking stuff they've done in the previous films, but just made it bigger.
Yeah.
It's a bigger scale. It's more, Just seeing Batman in daylight as well is kind of different for this film. There's a lot of Batman fighting in the day, whereas all the rest is him kind of in the shadows at night. The plot holes are pretty big, and you do have to just go, don't ask questions, don't think about it, and it's a way more enjoyable film when you do that. But knowing how, and he kind of went off with Tenet, but knowing how much of an attention to detail Nolan is, it's weird that there are these glaring plot holes in the film for me. But it doesn't really take away my enjoyment too much. I think it's a really epic film. I think the whole cast is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Everyone has their moment to shine. Fox has his moments. Gordon has his moments. Alfred has his moments. I think Bane's fantastic. I love Anne Hathaway in this film. I think she kind of steals the film for me a lot of the time.
Right, okay.
I think there's so much depth to her character.
I see. I think that's where we definitely disagree.
Really?
I feel like she, for me, is the plot hole for this movie. For
really?
Me. Yeah, definitely. Least favorite part of the movie is Anne Hathaway. Easily.
How come?
Easily. She, again, you hit it on the head. She's annoying. She's so annoying. Any movie I've watched her in, I cannot stand her. She pretty much plays the same. She plays, what's the movie she's famous for? The Devil Wears Prada. It's almost the same. It's like her boss is her when she's supposed to be her. I don't know. I don't like her in this movie. And I don't know if you could have put someone in her position to do even as good as the job as she did in this, which is weird. So I think the character itself was kind of set up for these flaws, in my opinion.
I don't see it flawed at all.
Yeah.
I feel they're really exploring, which they haven't done on screen before, that like she's conflicted with where she lies. She's kind of just fallen into this world where she's this cat burglar working for these bad people. I definitely see in all her scenes the conflict within herself and trying to put up this front of just being cool and not bothered about anything. I do think she's really good, and I think she's a good actor, and I think she does add this depth to this character that I think Pfeiffer, it's fun, the costume's great, she looks hot. It's very 2D.
Well, I mean, when they got the cats licked her to bring her back to life and stuff.
It's a very two-dimensional character for me.
I think I find that about this as well as her in this. I find it's like, okay, you were just set up to like be shoehorned in this way, but it was also Batman needs some friends here. Another moral of this movie is like everyone had someone to protect them. So you have Batman protects Gotham, Alfred protects Batman. Bane protected Talia. Catwoman protected Batman as well. Like everyone always, you gotta have your friends. Yeah. Get by with your friends is another kind of reoccurring
Talia
thing.
kind of sucks.
Talia kind of sucks because so in the comics, Ra's al Ghul's daughter Talia, she's magician. She's magic, right? She's it's kind of a sweet character.
She does have a relationship with Batman.
Yeah. And here they kind of do the swerve, which as a fan, when it happened, you're like, oh shit, that's crazy. But a little anticlimactic with her, like. It should have been her getting shot up and Bane being the like sole villain, survivor, terrorist plot, but she's the mastermind. It's like, all right, cool. But
it's just a bit cloak and dagger. The reveal.
Yeah. It's very Rousseau swerve for the swerve almost. But they kept it very private. Like this did not leak. Out. Nolan.
There were theory. Like a lot of people were thinking like maybe she's Talia al Ghul.
Especially when you watch it back, you're like, there's so many.
Well, when you're seeing there's like. Liam Neeson back, the casting leaked of the young Ra's al Ghul and stuff. You go, okay, maybe they'll
like, oh, this child. They kept prepping you to make it think it was Bane in the hole when you're like, all right, well, actually, I think going back to Anne Hathaway too. Like, I'm not saying I think anyone in this role would have had the same kind of effect. So I do think that like, hey, she did make the best of it because out of all the stuff you mentioned, some plot holes, like the character of where she kind of comes into this, I guess makes it work, but it is tough. Whereas Bane clearly for me is like the stealing the show because he's got so much to go up against because the Joker was so colorful and out there. So now it's like, how do we come up with this? So maybe having two kind of side characters, side villains, because Catwoman's not a villain.
I don't think she's a villain.
She's not a villain
film at all. She's definitely, she's in the rogues gallery, but she's not the villain in here.
Yeah.
I do like as well, I love the costume. because it is a cat burglar's costume, and I love how the goggles flip up to make the ears.
Yes.
Again, they never call her Catwoman.
Right.
She doesn't get licked by cats or
right.
anything.
It is way better
But you know
this
it's
way.
Catwoman, but it's all very practical and makes sense why she's wearing this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's no Halle Berry Catwoman, but
It sure isn't.
but it's still it's good. I like there's a joke throughout the movie too, a callback to the stock exchange. You mentioned the Joker thing, but there's a callback we missed when the stock exchange, these two like asshole stock market dudes are getting their shoe shined, and they're like, yeah, I put all my eggs in one basket. I'm betting on Wayne's stocks dropping. And he's like, the friend, it's like such a throwaway thing. And the guy's like, well, like, why? And he's like, I don't know. I just flipped a coin and decided. It's like a little nod to that as well.
Two-Face.
Yeah, but Ed Hardy.
Tom.
Ed Hardy's the t-shirts. Tom Hardy, in the jacket, became very iconic, and it makes everyone want to go out and buy that coat. Realistic, it's so cool. So I definitely think he delivers, and people will give it flack and make fun of the voice and stuff, but it's so iconic. It's cool. For years, people will do this voice and do this outfit and stuff. I think it really stands out, and give them credit for how do you top the Joker? You can't. You literally can't. So the next best thing is go far serious, go smart, serious. This guy does have a plan. Obviously, the Joker has plans.
Yeah,
but
going to the Riddler here would have been too similar.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was the perfect choice.
Yeah.
And tying it into the whole Ra's al Ghul story, which was Batman Begins.
Right.
And, I mean, to go to the Scream franchise, they always tell you the third part is a callback to part one.
It's true.
So, they follow the trilogy rules.
Yeah, everyone hits. You're right. It's like they turn up everything from the last two fully. It's like Gordon, he's got to do so much more shit. He's a superhero on his own in this movie. You have the introduction of Robin or Blake, who Levitt brings it as well. Everything kind of falls into place that makes sense. Even that's why I can't even say that Catwoman is bad, because it definitely has its part. But every little thing kind of makes sense. I guess the only real negatives are these obvious.
It's
flaws.
getting back from the pit. That's the big one for me. And why are you wasting your time doing a big art attack, Neil Buchanan? But yeah, I know there were, and that was a lot of the criticisms when this came out. And you said it's perhaps polarizing. That they were definitely conversations, but then I'm looking at kind of ratings online, and it's 87% on Rotten Tomatoes with an audience score of 90%. IMDb, it's an 8.4 out of 10. So it's pretty still highly regarded film, and definitely not on the lower scale of these Batman films by any means.
No, not at all. I know we will get into our Bat ratings and stuff. I know everyone praises The Dark Knight, but I honestly don't think this movie gets enough praise. I think a lot of people shit on this movie simply because it wasn't that movie. Right? It's sorry, then watch that movie. But this movie is still really good, in my opinion. I have not watched this one back as many times as I had The Dark Knight. And watching it back, I'm like, man, why do people give it so much flack? Because it's front to back. It's almost 3 hours long, 2 hour 44 minutes long, and it manages to not have any.
It
fat.
moves.
Yeah.
Pretty much every scene feels important. There's not too much you could really trim.
There's a sum, but it makes sense in what's going on. So yeah, it's basically Nolan's we got to finish it, so we're going guns blazing, all out, everything. Last movie we had trucks flipping and crazy chase scenes with the Joker. This time, and hospitals blowing up. This time we got cities blowing up, bridges blowing up, multiple trucks flipping. They went balls to the wall. The Dark Knight rised, and the story is all about rising. People should literally take that into fruition.
Rise above hate.
Rise above hate.
Yeah.
The whole story is hey, just because you're a guy who's really rich, sometimes we get our backs broken and you get thrown into a pit. But if you try hard enough, maybe you'll get out. But the moral goes on, because it's when Gordon Levitt's telling those kids, and the one guy's like, well, why are you giving them hope? He's like, well, what, we're just going to stop? Why would you just stop? And that's kind of the moral of life, essentially. Anyone can be you know what, life sucks. Fuck, why are we even doing this? Do we even know why? Well, that's a stupid outlook.
There's got to be hope.
Yeah, exactly. So it does have that message, and the marking thing they use for the movie that throughout the movie the kids are doing, do you think he'll be back, the Batman, where they mark the chalk?
Oh yeah,
of his signature or whatever. I love that as well. Like, it's such a cool thing. I'm surprised people don't get that tattooed on them, like the shape of the bat kind of thing. But yeah, overall, rewatching this movie, it's been years, holds up. This was so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, shall we give our scores?
I guess so. We have to. The bat scale.
The bat scale. Closing off the Nolan verse. The Nolan Dark Knight universe.
We were pretty high on the Dark Knight.
We were. Just to remind you, let's run through it so far. Batman, 3.5. This is a 5-star scale after we do all our maths.
Yeah.
Batman, 3.5. Batman Returns, 3.25. Mask of Phantasm, a 4. Batman Forever, a 3. Batman and Robin, 2.5. Still pretty generous there. Batman Begins, 4.25. And The Dark Knight, 4.75.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Well,
let's start with Bruce Wayne out of 10.
Bruce Wayne out of 10. I mean, he gets his back actually broken. Well, sort of, the vertebrae thing. And then he's got to climb out of a pit and then somehow manage to get from Morocco to Gotham. That's pretty, because that's not Batman doing that. That's straight up Bruce Wayne doing that. And in the time of all this shit going on, he manages to hook up with 2 baddies in this movie. So Bruce, generous, but you saved the world. He literally saved the world. And he was going to kill himself to do it. 10 for Bruce Wayne. Because of that scene with Christian Bale and Michael Caine. He's Bruce in that scene. And it's, yeah.
I think you get way more Bruce in this than maybe any of the Batman films.
Yes.
Screen time wise, as Bruce Wayne. And he's got a real kind of dilemma and emotional weight throughout the whole thing. He's fantastic. And he fucking saved the world. I went at 9.5.
There you go. What was the 0.5? You don't know how he got out of the pit.
It's, yeah. Why are you being such a dick at the beginning of the film?
8 years will do that to you.
It was the beard. Didn't work for him. Not my Bruce.
What about Batman?
Yeah,
Batman, I'm kind of on the same thing. Like, he saves the world. He's Batman. He's got to do everything. He's got to get his knees fixed. He's doing everything for the people. I went a 9 for Batman. It kind of goes hand in hand.
I went 9 as well. As you said, it kind of goes hand in hand. I think Bruce was maybe more interesting than Batman in this film.
That's exactly
and I think that's why I went slightly higher.
Yeah.
Whereas this is still kind of the same Batman from the last one.
Yeah.
Main villain, so we're talking Bane here.
Yeah, definitely. I thought I'd go lower before even watching this, like thinking of our scales, but then watching it back, I'm like, man, Tom Hardy does not deserve this disrespect from these people because he's scary. He's scary in this thing. So I gave him a 9 as well. It's super high. I think maybe the fact that he gets like jobbed out at the end, maybe that does, it kind of makes you go, okay, well, you're not important anymore. So maybe that's not a full 10, but otherwise his speeches, his fighting, everything was from the first scene you see him, he's scary. So
yeah, I went 9 too. I like that you understand kind of his plan.
Yeah.
And he's very smart and executing these crazy plans. I love the iconic voice. He's got a great look. And he breaks Batman's back.
Break your back.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I went a 9. Bane's great.
Yeah.
We have this category secondary villain. And
I don't think Talia counts.
I think we need, for this film, we need to talk about Catwoman.
Yeah,
Selena
secondary
Kyle.
hero.
So I think maybe we'd have had like a lead female but we haven't really introduced that.
Sure.
So, but yeah, secondary villain, we're going with Catwoman in this film.
Yeah, I gave her a 7 because I still think she has the reasons that the character is brought in, because the last movie was just the Joker. We definitely need... I like when there's multiple villains or not even villains. But it definitely takes off the fact that I find Anne Hathaway annoying.
Right.
That's still like me being like, hey, it makes sense.
I went for an 8. I really like Anne Hathaway in this film. Again, wouldn't really say she's the villain.
Yeah.
And kind of wouldn't mind seeing another thing with her being able to be actual Catwoman a bit more.
Sure.
But so that is kind of the negatives, but I think the character is pretty fleshed out and way more interesting to me than Rachel Dawes ever was, either iteration.
Rachel, oh yeah,
exactly.
That is true. Yeah,
like
true. I didn't think of that.
I cared way more about Bruce and Selena here than I ever did about
they're the cool couple
Bruce
though.
and Rachel. So yeah, I went for an 8, but mainly just knocking off a couple for villain points there. Alfred, Michael Caine.
I'm pretty sure I gave him a 10 in the last one because he talks about the tangerines and stuff. But it's him talking about the chimpanzee here, so I forgot. And he's so good. He kind of fucks off for half the movie because he tells Bruce to go fuck himself.
Yeah.
So you think I would deduct a point for that. But he told Bruce to make his own goddamn bed, so I raised him back to a 10. Because Michael Caine.
He cries. So
he
I give him a
literally
10.
cries like multiple times.
Yeah, he's great. Like, he seriously just carries so much of the emotional weight in this film.
I'm going to get so stoned this week and watch Alfie for no reason. Is that what he's in?
He
Alfie,
is,
yeah,
yeah.
the OG, right? Yeah.
But, yeah, he's fantastic. And full on Alfred mode throughout, but way more than we've ever seen from this character at 10. He's perfect. The Bat vehicles, so Batmobiles, Bat bikes, bats.
Yeah, we've been high on the tumbler, which we see multiple tumblers here because the bad guys use like the
army ones.
Yeah, so that kind of sucks against Batman, whom of course his tools and his toys blow up the other ones way more easier than they blow up his. I guess you can count the bat as the car, which is pretty
100%.
sweet. So I gave it a 9 because it's high. It makes more sense than just because it looks cool as a toy. We'll make it a jet that flies and lands just like it. The other ones don't make sense. Whereas this, like the aerodynamic, they explain how it works. So yeah.
Yeah, I went 9 as well. The bat's awesome. And also, the bat bike does something in this film that we haven't seen in the other, where the front wheel, like, spun around before he had to turn a corner.
That's right.
So extra points for that as well.
Do you think in the 8 years when he wasn't Batman, he was just, like, tuning up his stuff?
Well, Fox was.
Yeah,
Fox was
true. Oh,
always
right,
playing
true.
around.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
He knew this day would come.
Yeah, I really like the bat as the flying bat thing. That counts. So I gave that a 9. But what about gadgets?
Okay, so what are we talking about gadgets here?
Gadgets.
We're talking about the EMP cannon. We're talking about those bat darts.
Those poisonous bat darts.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is he putting in them? The poison. Like,
Bat venom.
Bat venom in the, like, yeah, damn. Like, there's poison frogs. I wonder if there's poison bats. I mean, we all know there was poisonous bats, don't we?
Oh, God.
I thought his gadgets outside of the vehicles, like, he didn't really use anything else. In fact, the bad guys turned his gadget against him.
True.
This bomb, this thing. So realistically, you kind of fucked up. I gave gadgets a 7.
Yeah, I gave a 6, and that's maybe being generous.
Yeah.
There aren't a whole lot of gadgets in here, but I guess the autopilot maybe I threw in there.
Oh, right,
autopilot.
autopilot. That's true, yeah.
And the dart scene was pretty cool. And his flare. And his bat sign. Sure, I'll say that's a gadget.
Oh, now you like the
But
art.
it's the suit as well, and his suit always looks great. So
Right.
extra points for that. But a 6. Overall enjoyment of the film. So this is taking aside, like, plot holes and all that, but just, do you enjoy it? Like, how much do you enjoy this film to watch?
Yeah, I highly enjoy this movie. I watch this movie not very often, but it's really long. But if you're a big Batman fan of the comics, reading it, it's almost like watching a comic book come to life, but in this realism that works so well. So everything aside the plot holes, I still enjoyed it a lot. So 9 from me. For
9.
This. Yeah.
I recognize The Dark Knight is a better film.
Yes.
I prefer this film, though.
This one's like your favorite one. This one's like, the other one everyone likes. It's not the band you like that has the hot song. Like, sure, everyone loves Sweet Child of Mine, but some people really love November Rain. You know? It's like, that's kind of like...
I like that they wrap up the trilogy, and I think they land it well. Think how many third films we've seen where you go, they kind of just messed up the landing there.
Right.
I think they wrap everything up so nicely here. They give room if you wanted to do
Robin,
Catwoman, or even
whatever,
Bruce coming back years and years later. They give room to that, but I think they wrap up the whole thing pretty well.
Which people don't agree with that. A lot of people think they didn't do that, which I'm like, how? They literally fixed every little...
Yeah.
They literally told you where everyone lands.
I think so.
Even Alfred, they told us. Alfred
He's
gets
moved to
fucking
Florence.
rich. He's
great.
Gets all the money.
And I just love the kind of epicness, the sort of war feel to this one. So I prefer this film to The Dark Knight. I recognize The Dark Knight's a better film. So
Right.
I went a 9.5.
Damn.
Which is my highest score for overall on any of these films.
Damn. Yeah.
Which, doing
Bat math.
Bat math, we both gave this an average score of 4.375 stars.
Wow.
Which we round up. It's a 0.25 scale. So it's 4.5 stars, which puts it in second place.
Damn.
Behind The Dark Knight.
Wow. Like, the Bat scores speak for themselves.
They do.
Ladies and gentlemen. But I think I kind of agree with you. Like, The Dark Knight, I watched it so many times when the first few years it was out, that I've watched it and I'm like, yeah, it's amazing, it's great. But this story is really great too. So maybe that's why I like it. It's more fresh. But this one has so many things that you want out of not only a comic book movie, but a movie.
Yeah.
It's got great acting. The story is insane.
The cast for this one is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because some of the support cast they have here, and I'm saying your main cast is your Gary Oldmans, your Morgan Freemans, your
Sure.
Michael Caine's, etc. But your support cast, you've got Ben Mendelsohn, who is just fantastic in everything I see him in. Bern Gorman, who plays his assistant, is a pretty big like BBC actor. Juno Temple, we mentioned from Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
The guy, the doctor guy. The dude who plays the congressman is in a bunch of stuff. He was in Lost for a bit, and like a really great support cast as well. I imagine Christopher Nolan just gets his mates a lot of the time in these films.
Oh yeah, it sounds like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I do love this film.
Yeah, I really do, and it wraps everything up. You wanted to go see a Robin or a Batman Beyond movie. You wanted to let it lie if you really thought so. Because shortly after they went, okay, cool, that was great.
So that's it. No more Batman films.
Yeah, ever again. Ever again. Hey, Nolan, we've been making that Superman one. That guy, it was all right. Do you think we could do a Justice League? Hey, Christian Bale, we'll pay you a fuck ton of money to come back, but we wrapped everything up. I possibly died. It's over. No. Come back, please. Justice League, we want you. I don't know. We'll give you a lot of money. I don't know. We'll give you a fucking lot of money. I don't know. Let me see what you got in the works there. Nope. I'm not interested. Neither is Nolan.
Yeah, Bale said he'd only do it if Nolan did it.
Yeah.
Both of them were like, I'll only do it if the other guy did it.
Absolutely
I believe
not.
Christopher Nolan goes on to be a producer.
He does.
But
yeah.
doesn't have much like creative input,
Right.
I guess. But yeah, we will be coming back with, I guess, Batman v Superman is next. I think we're taking August off.
Right. We got a lot of things.
We got a lot of things. We got the SummerSlam. We've got
we got to separate this. We got to get out of the hole. We got to get out of the pit of Morocco and give us time to get.
We need a bit of a break. We need to put the Dark Knight trilogy to bed before we go to the Snyderverse.
We should do for Patreon before that, just to fuck everyone up. If you want to hear us talk, we should do the Superman because it connects to that one.
Man of Steel.
I don't really want to though. Yeah, I don't
We'll
want
think
to.
about it.
Yeah, if there's push, we'll do
think
it. But
about
for
it.
Patreon only.
Yeah.
If you really want us to talk about that movie. I can't say anyone loves that movie. People like that movie.
I saw it once and really did not like it.
Like, people
but
like
maybe
it.
I need to give it another chance.
Yeah. But,
Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I know there's some feedback.
Oh, is
on
there?
this film. Patreon.com we posted up because no one wrote in on the Facebook.
I put it on 3 things.
And no one wrote in, but 3 people wrote in
Okay.
on the Patreon here. And I go to our first bit from Andre, who writes in, "This is one of the worst Batman movies I've ever seen."
What?
Yes, worse than Batman and Robin. Who the heck is this Robin dude? I hated it so much. Batman is such a whiny ass in this movie. It infuriates me. Bane is the only decent part. The whole Talia sleeps with Batman while cuckolding Bane is so dumb. Why didn't she just murder him when he was vulnerable during sex? I have no idea. This movie is bad. Dark Knight Rises, more like Dark Knight flops.
Oh, boy.
Damn, Andre from is not liking this movie.
Yeah.
He hates it.
We go to Magan, who says, trying to follow the best Batman film ever is not an easy feat. The Dark Knight Rises doesn't try to top its superior predecessor. It circles back to the themes that Batman Begins brought forth. Anne Hathaway pulled Catwoman's good name out of the mud. Tom Hardy made a menacing Bane, and the third act twist with Talia al Ghul was well done. A fitting end to the trilogy, despite being stuck under the Dark Knight shadow.
Very fair. We end finally, Barack, who writes in, I think Andre needs a hug. There's so much hate here. Talia al Ghul's death scene still makes me laugh because of how bad and sudden it is. Love the ending sequence where we find out that Wayne Manor has become an orphanage, probably because John Blake lets Bruce know earlier in the film that the orphanage was shut down. John Blake's legal first name is revealed to be Robin. Alfred spots Bruce with Selena while sipping on Fernet Branca in Florence. Makes me feel better having seen him cry at the Wayne's grave. Bruce handing the mantle over to Robin, presumably after the scene earlier in the film where he says he knew Bruce was Batman when he visited the orphanage and recognized the anger hidden behind the smile. A silent, gracious ending to a great trilogy of films that tied everything up nicely. Question: what happened to all those prisoners when Bruce escaped and threw the rope down for them?
They crowd surfed him back to Gotham.
Maybe, wait a second, maybe we're missing the whole point here. He threw the rope down so they could all climb up, and they helped him get it from Morocco to Gotham.
Because all these prisoners have a load of money.
Who knows? But that's probably what happened. I want
to see that TV show just filling in that gap.
If Smallville got a show,
yeah,
Gotham got a show, they could do a show just this 2 weeks. They'll call it 2 weeks in Morocco.
Yeah.
I'm sure, those people,
Road to Gotham.
Bat in the Sun, those fan people that make things, talk to them.
Okay.
Maybe you could play Batman.
Me?
This. Could be Christian Bale's replacement. Thank you guys for the feedback. Yeah, as I thought, some polarizing feedback for this movie, because you talk to 10 of your friends, half of them will be like, yeah, it stinks and I don't like it. Or the other one goes, yeah, it was good. It was good. I think it's really good.
I do.
It is in the shadow of The Dark Knight, but The Dark Knight rises. That's what happens. That's it.
That is it.
We mentioned the next time we will be talking about this is Batfleck.
Batman v Superman.
Yeah, so probably in sometime September.
I think September, yeah. We'll come back to this.
Get ready for that. But thank you, because nothing's topping this trilogy.
No.
Because this trilogy is, just as a fan of movies and this kind of stuff, is honestly probably one of my favorite trilogies.
I've seen these three so many times, and I enjoy them every time. Right. I haven't got bored of them yet, which is something to say because they're long films.
They are so long, but they have so much to offer in all three of them. And as a whole thing, if you were to watch them all at once, it would definitely hold up. It definitely does hold up, watching them back and chatting about them. So yeah, fun stuff. So you prefer this one to Dark Knight?
I think so.
I'm on the fence. I genuinely love this movie, but we've mentioned, we got Joker in our living room. We need to get Bane up in the living room. Should I get the Bane coat?
The Bane coat? You pull that off.
I have a shaved head. I just need the mask.
You pull the boat off.
The coat? Yeah. I gotta start looking for it. What do you even call those things? The Bane coats?
You can buy them, yeah. Just
Bane coat.
Winter coat.
Just get a winter
coat.
With
a furry collar.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to us ramble on about Batman. And if you like us, we ramble on about all sorts of stuff, including tons of movies, horror movies, sci-fi movies, everything, comedies, everything on the Patreon, plus retro NXT reviews, best match ever, tons of old pay-per-view reviews, WCW, ECW, WWF, all the stuff. Patreon.com/upNXT is how we get by, and it's only $5 to access all the shows coming up this month if you join August 1st, but everything in the back catalog, including all these movies and all that stuff, including the 60s Batman movie.
Yeah.
Which is on there as well.
Yeah, Adam West, 66.
Yes. So go support us for only $5. If you like us, go listen to all the other stuff that we do. And go follow the socials at UpNXT Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. And I myself, I am at the Brady.
And I am at Davie Portman.
Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And rise.
Ahoy!